The following podcast contains naughty language and ridiculous situations. Listener discretion is advised.
Oh, what a strange year it's been. 2022, you were absent of Monster Zero, but now I have returned. And you fine folks out there who have been staunch listeners of the program have been begging, asking, pleading on hand and knee to please beg for Monster Zero's return. Well, your wishes have been granted, my friends. Monster Zero is back, and he's just about as mediocre as ever. And so is the show. Welcome to Trick or Treat Radio.
Welcome to episode 545 of Trick or Treat Radio. Trick or Treat Radio is the world's most dangerous podcast and is recorded in front of an undead studio audience here at Castle Wolfenstein. Also at the Lair of Lost Swag within the Raven Chateau. And, well, it hasn't been quite a year. He did join us throughout the year, but for the first time in a year as an official member of the show, we are now also broadcasting from, I don't remember what the fuck I call your fucking place, the home of the Zero. We welcome back our friend, brother, co-host, Monster Motherfucking Zero.
Hey. Thank you for the applause. Thank you for that one person.
Boo.
Yeah, it's been a time, and I'm just glad to be back. When I left, it had nothing really to do with me moving, from somewhere in Massachusetts to all the way in somewhere in Maine. It had nothing to do with that, really. I just felt a little burnt out from doing the show. Not to say that I didn't love it. I did. But it was I just needed to take a break. I thought I was going to be done for good. And after a year, I realized, you know what? I need to do this again. I miss talking to my friends, and I also miss talking to you, Raven Shadow. So I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm going to go back in there and do the show, and here I am. So, which is not to say that I haven't been busy. Believe me, this past year I have been busting primarily what's left of my balls.
Wait, what's left?
So
I thought you had an abundance of balls.
Well, I do. I used to. Now I got the balls of a 4-year-old.
Does Maine regulate ball size?
Yeah, you know what? There's a lot of weird things up in this state. I got to tell you. No bullshit. It's really. They're very at least in the area that I'm in. They're very hands-on people.
I thought you were gonna say they're very handsy.
Well,
is this a ball cuppage up in your neck of the woods?
Nobody cups my balls but me. Deadly.
Sadly enough.
I see a lot of trucks. I see a lot of dirt. I see a lot of flannel. I see a lot of work boots. It's not like it all in where I was living in Massachusetts. It's not very suburbia. It's it's got everything that you need in this area. I mean, you got everything that I need here, right here, and I don't have to travel very far to get it. But I'm not saying I don't miss home. I do miss home, but this isn't so bad.
It's not terrible. That's going to go on the box of Maine. It's not terrible.
It's not
Come
terrible.
visit.
That should,
It's not
that should be
terrible.
yeah, that should be the license plate.
Yeah.
It's not terrible.
Come visit Maine. It's not terrible.
It's like, yo, it's not Sarajevo.
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 Jesus.
Maine, we're better than Bosnia. Come visit.
Wow.
So probably not a lot of bookstores, is what you're saying.
Well, there's a store up here called Bull Moose, which is actually pretty awesome.
Nice.
It's a bookstore, a record store, a toy store. It's basically like Newbury Comics, but with a lot more stuff and a lot better stuff.
Okay, cool. You should tell them who you are and arrange to do like an in-store, like do like a walkthrough.
Oh, you mean do you mean like do a show from there, or just do a recording from there and then post it on?
Yeah, like pretend you're at Walmart and like take some photos next to some stuff. Could be fun. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Yeah, I could do that. I mean, their Blu-ray selection as far as horror goes is really, really good. They got a lot of Vinegar Syndrome, Arrow, Kino, and just great titles too. I mean, just a phenomenal place. It's really, really awesome. But what?
I was gonna say, yeah, I think we talked about this when you're on during the year, but yeah, I've been to Bull Moose. It's pretty good. It's kind of like Newbury Comics and Borders, like if they had a baby. That's how I remember them, anyways.
Yeah. That's a fair assessment, sure.
Because it's kind of like cool and hip, like Newbury Comics. Doesn't feel as corporate, as like Borders, but they have a lot of different stuff in there.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, they do. It's pretty wild in there. A lot of good stuff in there.
So yeah, MZ, he's honestly, like when you left, I thought that was it. We all said our goodbyes. I figured you'd be on the show here and there, like you were last year. I think you joined us like 2 or 3 times, if I recall. Yeah, I wasn't sure that this would happen, and obviously I'm glad that it has. I think that over the course of the last year, well, MZ just told us he hasn't listened to a single second of the show since he left.
None, absolutely none.
And
like
not
I
even
said, I was burnt out. I mean, like, I just need a break.
Well, I just love that you've been like surprised that I cut my hair, which I did that back in June, and we posted a lot of pictures from summer vacation, and you didn't like one of them. So thanks for that. Not only
I don't know
you're not
anything about that. I don't know anything about that.
We have a few comments already. Denny is hanging out. He says, "Hillbilly heaven, 1 tooth is required."
There are a bunch. In fact, there's a town not too far from here in which incest is kind of running rampant.
Jesus.
So
wait.
So
is that, I just like hear Hulk Hogan in my head. Incest is running wild on this town, brother. What the fuck?
that don't work for me, brother.
Is the town called Brady Sis? Population 2017. Or established.
Oh, who's that, MZ?
Is that your new friend?
This is April.
Hey, April.
This is April.
Oh, look at that.
And
April's a star.
And we're gonna be jumping around, I know, but
yeah.
But I was coming home from work, and my next door neighbor was like, "Have you ever seen this cat?" I looked down, and I said, "Nope, never seen it before in my life." And I just kneeled down, and, did the whole, that whole thing just to get her attention. She came right up to me. I picked her up, no claws, nothing, and she just melted in my lap. She was hot as hell. This was back in early August. She was hot as hell. You wouldn't believe the body temperature on this cat. the fact that she didn't die from a stroke is incredible.
Was it like really hot out that day? Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
It
gotcha.
was August, early August, and it turns out that she was chipped, that she belonged to somebody, but she belonged to somebody that was about a mile away. But they never called to ask anybody about a missing cat or anybody. So after 10 days, she now belongs to us, and she is my cat, and I take care of her, and she is the friendliest. Outside of the fact that she's attacking another cat right now, she is the friendliest cat in the world. She like, say you're getting out of the shower and you're drying off, she jumps right on your shoulder. She's just ridiculous. She's a very loving cat, lap cat, the whole deal. I mean,
so let me get this straight. MZ's now stealing cats. Okay, can add that to his resume.
yes, I'm a cat napper, and I shower in front of them.
Cat napper, and he documents incest.
Yes.
He doesn't participate. He documents it.
There is a town, a couple towns over from here, in which incest runs rampant. It's like having a free circus right next door to me.
How do you know it runs rampant? Like, how do you find that out?
Probably go to the brochures, the travel.
In the brochure? Yeah.
Yeah, you go to like IHOP, they have the maps of Maine where it's like, oh, look, trees. More trees. The town that dreaded incense.
The town that dreaded incense?
Oh, incest.
I like incense better.
The towns there. The towns that dreaded incense.
Incestual incense. Yes.
Oh, shit. So
no, we would have, well, in fixing up the place, got handymen coming over here fixing things up, and they would tell us about.
Everyone's really handsy up there in Maine. Jeez.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised.
He'll touch you.
He'll touch you real good.
Yeah.
Would you touch me? I'd touch me.
Give a little how's your father? Welcome to the neighborhood, bro.
Wait, actually, like the big question though, MZ, have you christened the house by doing the tuck dance? It's been a while now. Have you?
No, I haven't.
Wow.
No, I haven't.
Wow. Yeah, I guess the house isn't
now that you
fully.
mention it, I'm gonna do it.
The house isn't fully lived in yet.
Oh, it will be though. Give it time. And now that you mention it, I'm gonna do it. So, and I'll do it just tonight.
Oh man. Oh, he's like talking to himself in the mirror. Would you have incest with me? I'd have incest with me so hard. Is that technically incest, right? I guess, right?
Would it be? I get. Well,
part of the same family.
Yeah, but it's not another family member.
Yeah. Well, technically, it depends on what you're doing to yourself.
And
go ahead.
If it's a step thing, that's not really true, according to the internet.
Oh, Ravenshaw's got some explaining to do. Sounds like.
No, I'm just saying, it's not blood.
I mean, if that's the case, then I guess we're all incestual if we're all jerking ourselves off, right?
No.
Welcome back, MZ.
Picking up where I left off.
Evil Corny says, hell, MZ could have stayed in Worcester and stolen cats.
True.
Yeah, you didn't really have to move to Maine for that.
Yeah.
And Casual Noob Saibot's hanging out. He says, welcome back, MZ.
Thank you.
So yeah. So this whole thing, I kind of mentioned this a little bit, but this whole thing kind of like started. I think MZ got the ball rolling a couple months ago, and he had mentioned, hey, I'm thinking about coming back, and the first thing I said was, "Fuck no." No, I'm just kidding. I wanted him to make sure it was the right thing, the right decision, and he took some time to give it some more thought, and then came back like a few weeks later and was like, "Yep, let's do this." So we've known for a little bit, and that was always the date, was January 5th. So here we are. Yeah, MZ. I guess we'll find out how long it lasts. Maybe he's gonna get sick of our shit in a week or two.
How about 5 minutes ago?
Raven Shadow, if you could encapsulate the last year for MZ, since he didn't listen to a single minute of it, how would you do so?
Fucking crossovers, new co-hosts who are awesome, Zombie Girls, Mina Rose, Rocky, Liz, a bunch of motherfuckers, Patreon laughs, Zombie Girls crossover episodes, celebrities, porn stars, treat.
Yeah, I heard that Zombie Girl showed up a bunch of times, and Rocky did, and a whole bunch of other people did. Names that are kind of
we needed like 8 people
blank.
to take your place.
Oh, and he also missed the tons of Patreon. Fucking not. All right, fine. You're here now. Because Aries is the Brock Lesnar of podcasting, so he's only shows up when he feels like it. But to be fair, Wolfie and I did a lot of heavy lifting. Wolfie, a little more than me, aka a lot more than me, but still, we did a lot of Patreon stuff. We had a very special screening of Septic with the Patreon listeners.
Yeah, I heard.
Would have been helpful if you were saying.
Yeah.
Don't give him grief. I mean, we're like literally like 20 minutes into his comeback, and you're already giving him grief.
Well,
Yeah,
all
what the
right.
hell?
Enough is a fucking enough, Wolfie. Okay.
And it's time for a change.
Yeah. Is that another cat you stole?
How many cats have you stolen so far this year?
You want to know how many cats we got in here now?
Do you have to take your pants off to count?
Try 7.
7 cats? Holy
You don't
shit.
have
7.
Wow. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. That's a lot, though.
Yeah. You don't need to tell me.
Do you know all their names?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, the one that you just saw, that's Buns.
Buns?
Buns.
She got nice buns? Like what?
She's a big fat cat.
Oh, okay.
The other one you met was April.
Yep.
And BB and S'mores. They're the oldest
I
cats.
remember them, yep.
S'mores is my dude.
Then there's Katie, who's right over here. Katie.
Katie.
There's
Like Katie Lang?
No, not KD. Katie. And then there's Boo. And then there's Pep.
I was kind of hoping
So-
you forget one, but I'm glad you didn't.
Nope. And then we got a big dumb dog named Parker.
He's not
who's,
dumb.
He's beyond dumb.
No, he's a fucking dog. Dogs aren't dumb.
This one is.
No. That's mean.
Doesn't mean it has to be untrue.
Yeah, but it's mean.
I bet he's a good boy.
Probably gonna give him a complex. He probably hears you.
He is a good boy, but he's dumb.
If a cat's a good
Well, like father, like son, I guess, right? He takes it after his dad.
Yeah.
Double D, he's hanging out. Says yes. He says DC-10 is back. That's Double D goes back with MZ so far that he used to know him as DC-10. Says now I can watch the show again without my pants off. Thanks, MZ. And
That's what I'm here for.
he has to eat lasagna too, right, Raven Shadow?
Oh, that was the best.
Pants off, eating lasagna, watching The Sopranos. Was that what it was?
We were. I think no, that was pre-Sopranos.
Oh,
We
pre-Sopranos.
were
Okay.
actually, I think you were there. I was there. A few other brothers were there. and it wasn't even our house, and we had lasagna with no
Oh,
pants
yeah.
on the lasagna. It was fun.
Oh,
I mean, we were in our pitches, but yeah.
oh, and Evil Corner says, thanks for not mentioning me, Raven Shadow.
When?
I think when you were mentioning what happened last year.
And fucking Corny was everywhere over everything. But that's fucking, of course Corny's fucking down. Big ups to Corny.
Boy, you seem to shun Corny every chance you can get until
Well,
you're reminded of.
So does Aries. Aries said he was his third or fourth favorite Patreon supporter.
And I said, I didn't like that. I didn't like that. I didn't like that. I didn't agree with it. And listen, Pot Timer, don't fucking tell me how I feel about Corny. All right? I love him.
He's not part-time. He's
Well,
full-time. He just took a year off. He took a
well, yeah.
sabbatical.
He's full-time.
Full-time zero.
Little bit of rehab. Sorry. No, that's me. That's my good one.
So let me try to catch MZ up. So we did have, there was like, excluding the Patreon takeovers, I think we had about 8 or so guest co-hosts. We had a rotating sort of like slot where we'd have like, we'd do Arkham Josh would come on, and then like,
Yep.
Then we'd have Rachel from Zombie Girls, then we'd have like Rocky or Liz, and we would kind of rotate in and out. And we did that for I would say actually the first 4 or 5 months, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Raven Shadow, we had a different guest co-host every single week for like the first 4 or 5 months.
That would be fair. We had a lot of booking, and I it's a thing we say, we hate to mention names, but no, like I'm gonna say one now. Josh was fucking killer for last minute.
Josh
jumping.
saved our asses a bunch of times, and
Yeah.
last minute, like I literally messaged. I think literally one time I messaged him the day of the show. It was like, oh, by the way, if you want to come on the show.
And then he came up, did fucking year end and Patreon episode. So thank you, Josh.
Yeah,
thank you.
Wow.
So Josh,
Wow.
yeah, he did yeoman's work, and big thank you to everybody. I mean, once again, like Raven Shadow says, well, I say, and you've said as well, I don't want to like necessarily call people out because I'm probably going to forget some, but of the rotating guest co-host slot, the people we had the most were, as I mentioned, Arkham Josh. We had Rachel from Zombie Girls. We had Mina Rose. We had Liz from Comic Crush. And Rocky showed up a few times. And let's see. And then we had our Patreon takeovers, which was awesome. And then we kind of slowed down, I'd say halfway through the year, and we did guest co-hosts like maybe every 2 or 3 weeks-ish. And but yeah, that was about it. And then but yeah, Josh I think was on the most. So let's see, I'm going to count real quick. We had him, there's probably sometimes I didn't even write him down because he was so last minute. There's 4, there's 5. Let's see, 6, 7. So 7, at least 7, including, and then there was the year end, which would have been 8. And he was on the Patreon show as well for the year end. So he's probably on about 10 times, given like all the Patreon and all that stuff. So yeah, it was awesome. And we fully intend to, oh shit. Sorry, the same thing happened that happened last time where I think we froze. I think everything just froze on my end. We're still we're still recording, but I think.
Well, yeah, I see Raven Shadow moving, and I know I'm moving.
Yeah, no. What I mean is the live feed, though. A lot of my programs just locked up. So I have to square this away. Let me try and do this. So, MZ or Raven Shadow, if you guys just want to chat about some shit, and I'll try to get this all squared away.
So MZ, what are your thoughts on the new Evil Dead Rises trailer?
Yes, let's start talking some horror.
Thank you.
Well,
Break
it does.
for a bag. Yeah.
It's let's see, how do I put this? There's some references to the original, which I liked. You know, it shows the clock, the original clock, which is a staple. You got to have that. Um, Although I got to say, this might be hard hitting. Who knows? I mean, I'm always excited for whatever Evil Dead project is up in the air. And this was announced at Rock and Shock in 2019 when Bruce Campbell announced it. And here we are over 3 years later, and we're finally getting it going. I don't know how I feel about little kids being thrown into the Evil Dead universe, though. It just feels like it's going to be watered down if you throw kids in the mix, you know?
Oh, see, now we talked a little bit in the chat, but like I watched the Bruce Campbell preamble, so to speak,
Yep.
but I didn't watch the trailer because I'm like I just want to avoid as much as I can.
Yeah.
Oh, so there's like
There's children in it, yeah, which is a real turnoff. You know, it's like, you know, Evil Dead is really hard, you know, especially with the first film. But I mean, and it's gotten various degrees of violence and gore and, you know, deadite splatter and all this other stuff. But I think when you throw kids into the mix, man, it's going to get watered down. The content's going to get watered down. And even if there is violence involved, it's probably going to be CGI, you know? So I don't know. I mean, I'm excited for it. I can't wait to see it because I will see it. But as of right now, I'm feeling a little tepid about it. It's and also the poster art for it is just absolutely abysmal. You know, but then again, you know what? The poster art for the remake back in 2013 was abysmal as well. You know, it was just a picture of the girl walking away from the camera with this huge text over it. And that sucks to me. That's not inventive. That sucks. That's lazy. And this looks lazy too. This is about as generic a movie poster as you're likely to find for horror. And at first I thought it was a poster for Smile, because that's all you see is the woman, or at least the mother in this case, would be smiling. And that's all I saw. And that's all you see that in the trailer too. You see the woman smiling a lot. It's like, you know, and of course, you know, like you said with the preamble, as you put it, Raven Shadow, uh, Bruce Campbell saying, I've seen it. It's a very scary movie. And I'm thinking to myself, well, of course he's going to say that. He put his own money into this project. You know, he's one of the producers.
well, to be Bruce is going to play ball, right? I mean, I mean, anyone's going to play ball. But like, now I remember I've only seen I don't want to say remake, but what's a better term for that? The
reboot,
I don't know.
reimagining.
Reimagining.
Are you talking about the 2013 film?
Yeah, the one we all saw. I think a bunch of us saw in theaters. And I've only seen it once theatrically. I've not seen it since. I remember thinking, okay, it's fine for what it was. I enjoyed it for what it was. Now, and then we get lucky having the show. I mean, obviously, Ash versus Evil Dead was a great fucking fan service bit of business. Yep. So now, is this set in that world? Like, I read something where someone said it might have been like a prequel to Evil Dead.
Yeah, see, I don't know. I don't know, because because I don't know if this family is in any relation to Ash. I don't know if this family is any relation to Mia from the remake. Hard to say right now.
Because one thing I liked about the remake, I feel they spread out, and it's only, like I say, I've only seen it theatrically, but if memory serves, they kind of like splintered out aspects of the Ash character to various people. But like I said, I'd like to actually see it again, but like I haven't seen it since we saw it in theaters.
Yeah.
And here's
same.
my question: do we need more Evil? Just asking the
Do we-
question.
Do we need more Evil Dead?
That's my question. Just throwing it out there.
If it's well done, sure. You can continue the story without Bruce Campbell. It's very, as much as people might hate to hear this, it can be continued without Bruce Campbell as Ash. Bruce Campbell can still be part of the Evil Dead world. He could still be in the movies. In fact, I've often thought that maybe he would be a great, not so much of a father figure. I don't want to say that, but like he was in Ash versus Evil Dead. But I would like to see him as like the king high exalted ruler of the Deadite Slayers. Like this coven of Deadite hunters. And like he's like the exalted ruler of that group. And he would have like a small cameo in it. He'd sit on a throne and he would have Deadite heads all over him and everything like that.
Would it be cool if it was like Ash on tape, or like Ash like videos, like whoever's fighting the new Evil Dead, like Ash like recorded how he does his things, and it could just be voiceovers, or like, and Ash is a podcast about how he fights the Evil Dead, and the new guys like listen to it.
You know what? I should be a podcaster.
I'm just
No. Yeah,
like,
I got to agree.
No. Forget the podcast idea. But if he like left like voice recordings, like I can almost picture Ash being in his trailer, like just talking
all raw,
with a couple of Heinekens and Budweisers and recording stuff. I don't know. What are you gonna do?
All right. Well, sorry to interrupt real quick, but I think everything's squared away. Not everything froze like last time. Only I think two programs froze, so I think I caught it before everything froze. So we're still live. Everything's good. So we actually never got disconnected from live, so we're always live. But you guys just froze, but I fixed that. So all right. Well, hopefully it doesn't happen again. There was something else I was going to mention. You guys brought up that I'm curious. I mean, I watched the teaser to the teaser. I don't even know what they fucking call those. But I haven't seen the teaser trailer yet. I watched the teaser to the teaser, and I don't know. Like, I just don't.
The teaser is the trailer. It's the trailer.
Well, I know, but the day before the trailer came out, they released like 20 seconds of it.
Yeah, I know. That was like a little snippet, but what they released a couple of days ago after that, the day after that,
right? I haven't watched
it
that
was
yet.
The trailer.
Yep,
it was the trailer, and I watched it. And but also the problem is that it's also too clean. This is a big thing with me, that everything's digital and nothing's really shot on film anymore. So it won't age. It looks too crisp. It looks too nice. And I when I think of Evil Dead, I think of the first film, and even the second film, which was shot on 16 mil. It just looks, it looked right, This, I don't know. I mean, it's just like the remake of Evil Dead, where it just looks too clean to feel threatening.
Yeah.
Oh, hey.
That's what I was laughing at. It looked like it was gonna like take a dump on your head.
That's Katie.
Oh, hey, Katie.
The big fat eyeballs.
We're seeing Katie's time tunnel right now. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. I mean, I'm happy to see more Evil Dead. I just don't know. Like, was the world really clamoring for more Evil Dead? Like it's one of those things where it was. This is an MZism. It was lightning in a barrel, and like the first two, and including Army Darkness, I feel. I mean, they were just fun and great, and there wasn't a lot of that going on. But nowadays, you know what? Like, there's a lot of other really interesting filmmakers doing some cool stuff. And not that, I know Sam isn't directing this. I actually forgot who is directing. I'll look it up right now. But it's just one of those things, like, I just feel like we don't really need it. It's Lee Cronin is directing the new Evil Dead. And let's see, the other things he's done. How do I know that name? He's done mostly just shorts. He did a segment in Minutes Past Midnight, and then he did there's a film called The Hole in the Ground from 2019. And yeah, I mean, he did, that's pretty much it. And then he did another 50 States of Fright, the TV series. He did 2 episodes of that. So, but anyways, yeah, I don't know. Like, I just feel like it's not something like people have been really clamoring for. Like, oh my God, I gotta have new Evil Dead. It's just like the story's been told. Like, I just feel like there's not really. I mean, you don't have to really expand the lore. It is what it is. Like, kind of let it be. And I'm not trying to be like a like a stick in the mud. Like, I'll see it and I hope it's awesome. But I just feel like don't really need it,
I think what we loved about it, or at least that era, I think Ash versus the Evil Dead was the best swan song of the movies.
Well, sure, because I mean, people have been clamoring for a movie for Evil Dead 4 for the longest time, and instead of getting one movie, you got a 3-season, 10 episodes per season, 30 episodes of Evil Dead that continued the storyline.
Right.
It was brilliant.
Yeah, and honestly, that's why I feel like that's probably enough. Like he did the series, But I don't know.
Yeah. I'll still be checking it out.
Yeah, definitely. Let me catch up on the chat. There's a few others that I wanted to read here. Casual Noob Saibot says, when you open a can of tuna in the house with 7 cats, do you have to fight them off, MZ?
Pretty much.
And,
pretty much.
We also have True Bacon Force. I think this is the first time I've seen True Bacon Force checking out one of the live shows. So, True Bacon Force, thanks for tuning in. And True Bacon Force says, hey guys, I found your YouTube channel recently, and it's been really fun watching random episodes about horror movies. Welcome back, MZ. You guys are awesome, and that's coming from an 18-year-old.
All right.
Thank you.
So we're a generational show.
Yes.
Well, Bacon Force, appreciate you checking out the show. Hope appreciate you tuning in live. I'm glad you dig it. And we've been doing. I mean, just real quick, we've been doing it for 10+ years, and this is what we were doing before we had the cameras on. Like, this is the conversations we would just have late night at diners or out for like a lunch or something like that. So we just kind of continued, and we keep a little bit of focus by talking about a movie so we don't get completely off topic. But well, we appreciate it, and it's cool to hear that someone who is more than half our age actually enjoys what we do and is checking it out. That's really cool, because I know we have folks who are about our age, some folks that are younger, some folks that are older. But it's always cool to hear that there are people significantly younger just digging what we do. And if you ever want to send in a voice message, and that goes for anybody out there listening, you can always do it. podcast@trickortreatradio.com. We love having different points of view, different voices, and it can be about whatever. It doesn't have to be about what the current show is about. It could be, hey, you saw a film discussion from a couple months ago, a couple years ago, and you wanted to chime in on it. You had some thoughts, or you saw it and you wanted to just talk about what you felt. Those are always welcome. So, and that goes for anyone out there. We always love hearing from you guys, and I feel like that's one of the cool things about this show, or at least that's what other people have said. That is, we love hearing from other people, and we're very welcoming of them. So hopefully that is still true. So,
Yeah, that's awesome.
yeah, that's really cool. Let's see. Evil Corny says, "Why is Raven Shadow trying to turn Ash into Charlie?"
In the chocolate factory? What do you mean?
Maybe, I don't know.
Oh, you mean Charlie, like Charlie's Angels?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's what it was. Charlie's Angels. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Why are you trying to do that, man?
I wasn't trying to do that. I was trying to figure something out. Like, I think it would be cool if like some kid was like playing like Ash, like, like positive, like who's that guy, Tony Robbins?
Oh God.
What, like a motivational speaker?
Motivational speaker. I think that Ash, in the twilight, so to speak, of his life, I feel he could like do that. And I think other, young up and coming Hungry Gun Tiger monster hunters might listen to his like books on tape.
Honestly, like something like that actually would be kind of fun if he was inspiring the next generation. If maybe like one of his acts, like when at the end of Army of Darkness, actually, I guess it would have been if he went with the alternate ending, if he slept too long, but I guess it works on either ending. But if he brought, the Deadites back with him and he made it worse so that like they're now spread out over the world. And, it's up to him to help people to fight them or something like that. 'Cause he was the savior. Like I could see something like that where, he plays a little bit of a smaller role. He's not an action star necessarily like he was, but something like that could be fun. I don't know. Like,
yeah, you just hear the voice, the voice as like a guide,
or it's his voice on the old tape recorder instead of like,
right.
Instead of transcribing the Necronomicon Ex Mortis, it's Ash talking about how to kill a Deadite or something.
That's what I'm saying.
And I still see him as like the king, as the he sits on his throne and he's the ruler. He's like the ruler of a horde of Deadite slayers, and he tells them all how to dispatch certain Deadites, and almost like a godlike figure to these people. Since they're facing evil, he's seen as like a godlike figure. That's how I always envision.
That's a horror movie right there, viewing Ash as a godlike figure. Where
God is very quite fallible.
All right, some more chat. Angry Townsman says, "Think you guys will be covering Renfield?" I think there's a good chance.
Yeah, I saw the trailer for that today too.
Nick Cage as a Dracula, as Raven Shadow would say.
Yeah.
And Nicholas Hoult.
It looks awesome.
And we should resurrect the Renfield. Bring me my ass cane.
Fetch my ass cane.
Fetch my ass cane, Renfield. That's so long ago. I barely even remember that. I couldn't forget that quote, but I don't remember much more about it. Do you guys remember why we were doing that voice?
Because it was that flippin' vampire movie. They were like the flippin' ones. They were the Japanese Draculas.
Not Japanese. You're talking about Chinese, the hopping vampires.
The hopping. I'm sorry.
Yangshi, I think, is what they're called.
Yeah.
From that movie Rigor Mortis, is that the one?
It might have been.
Or was it was it Mr. Vampire? Was that the name of it?
Either one could be right. I have no idea, but I'm just trying to help you.
I don't even remember that.
You're trying to help me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did Mr. Vampire, I think, and then we also did I know we did Rigor Mortis.
Yeah, I remember Rigor Mortis.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Renfield. Fetch me my ass cane.
Fetch my ass cane. Because it became a drag. I was fucked up. That's a long time ago.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I don't remember. If any of the listeners remember, feel free to let us know. Might have to consult the archives. I don't remember when that was.
But Cage is really playing the Drac, huh? That's
yeah. He looks pretty good too.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah,
He looks terrible.
What? What are you talking
No,
about?
he looks awesome, but not good. Like not like
Nah, he looks good.
not sexy.
He looks sexy.
He's no Lestat up in that motherfucker.
Well, Nick Cage probably thinks he looks sexy.
I think
It's-
he's no Nick Cage Con Air.
He's better than fucking, Lestat or whatever the fuck his name is.
This thing. No, it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be great. I can't fucking wait. Yeah, we should go see that in theaters.
Are you gonna go see it in the theater?
If you come to New England.
So probably not. Let's see. Renfield's, we mentioned the only thing that comes up is episode 430. We did the movie Hosts. It was in October 2020.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of.
Renfield comes up in Hosts.
I don't remember.
Well, I wrote
We must have talked about Renfield at some point during that show.
in the show notes. I wrote, so have Renfield fetch you your cane, scarf down some virtual pierogies, and strap on.
Well, that could be it.
But I know that came up earlier because we talked about Renfield at Castle Wolfenstein. I remember that because we kept doing it like back in the day at Castle Wolfenstein. So
Yeah, but this was second Castle Wolfenstein.
right. The previous, the previous one to where we all were. Before we move on, I wanted to also ask MZ. So MZ, I know you didn't really keep up with the films that we did on the show, but you still kept up with a lot of films. So I thought it might be fun to get some of, I don't know if you've thought about your favorite film of last year, or if you haven't, maybe just some movies that you really dug that you checked out last year. They could be old too. It doesn't have to necessarily be brand new ones.
Well, let's start off with this one.
Oh, God.
Jesus Christ.
Wait. Josh warned us about this, didn't he?
He did.
He warned us that you were going to bring up Bat Pussy on the very first show. He
That's
warned
so
us about this.
Funny. That's so funny, Wolfie, because
It's ridiculous.
He said that we had the same conversation twice about Bat Pussy.
Yeah, that's right. Josh said to us, he said, when MZ brings up Bat Pussy on his first episode back, remember, you guys have talked about it twice before. Because last time he brought it up, you guys forgot.
And we asked the same questions. It's the third time he's bringing it up, and I feel we're asking the same questions.
So that's MZ's favorite movie of the year. Fucking Bat Pussy.
This is amazing. It has now get this. This is a new release. This is a 2022 release, okay? It has not only the 2017 version, but apparently they somewhere dug up a copy that has extra footage. So there's the 2022 version as well. It's amazing. Other movies I found that were amazing last year was let me see. I thought Nope was pretty good.
Yep.
That
ended up being one of the top films of the year. Yep, for us.
Nope was good. I didn't think it was his best movie, but Jordan Peele's best movie. But it's definitely, it's an acquired taste. I think. The technician, the guy who played the technician, he was annoying as fuck for me, man. I couldn't stomach that guy. He was pissing me off so much. Every time he hit the screen, I'm like, shit, do we have to listen to this guy again? Barbarian was good.
Yep.
It was, the first 35 minutes are great. It kind of takes a slight bit of a nosedive after that part.
When it goes to Justin Long.
Yeah. And while that whole way that all that played out was good, it wasn't great. But the first 35 minutes saved it from being mediocre. Let me see. Then there were the films that I watched with you guys, New York Ninja, and what was it? Not the Executioner. What's the other one?
The Instructor.
The Instructor. Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't had much time to see other films. I want to check out other films that, anything, anywhere, everything,
Everywhere all at once.
everywhere, all at once.
Or otherwise known as Yow.
I got to make time for that. I have to.
Yes,
I've
you do.
nothing but good things about it.
I won't spoil, but it ended up being very high on our list for last year.
Yeah.
Unanimously high.
Really.
Yeah,
I
you gotta check it out. You gotta check it out for sure.
I'll make time this weekend.
Yeah, I'll be super curious to see what you think about it too. Evil Corny says, "I thought Ass Cane came from y'all watching Kung Fu from Beyond the Grave." He might be right. I looked that up, and we did that on episode 261. We had Corondo on that episode, and we talked about Kung Fu from Beyond the Grave. So that might be it.
It could be.
Any others, MZ? Obviously, you didn't have much time, but anything else come to mind for you?
I'm sure I'm missing something, but right now it's just not hitting me.
All right. So if you think of any others, let us know. Creepy Girl said, this is a little bit earlier in the chat. She says, I knew he would be back, talking about UMZ. She knew it.
And she's happy.
I think it's no coincidence that she just became a Patreon supporter again after we announced that you were coming back.
Well, thank you, Creepy Girl. Thank you. I take full credit for that.
Creepy Girl asked what movie we were talking about. We were just trying to figure out what we had a funny little bit on the show. I don't know, a couple of years ago. Renfield, bring me my ass cane, and we were trying to think about what movie that came from. So we haven't started talking about the movie, but we will be talking about the movie Mad Heidi, I think the first and only Swissploitation film in the existence of cinema. Maybe I don't know if that's true. That's how it's touted as the only Swissploitation film. So we'll be talking about that in actually just a few minutes here, because I want to kind of wrap this up and get talking about the movie. And so we'll be talking about that in just a few minutes. And let's see, anything else we want to? I'm sure we'll talk more about MZ's return as the show goes on. But anything else come to mind for you, Raven Shadow?
No, I kind of wanted to get into the film.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So then let's wrap this up. And speaking of Patreon, we just released, I guess we did our year-end show. And so that is available. Josh joined Raven Shadow and I. We had a lot of fun. Went through our top 13 films of the year. And we included this year, since we didn't have MZ, the Patreon listeners sort of took the place of MZ for our year-end list. We had Patreon supporters submit their lists, and we made one list from all of theirs. And that ended up being factored into the overall master list for the end of the year. So we appreciate all the Patreon supporters who submitted their lists, and it helped us to come up with the top films of the year. So that's out there. That's free. That's on the podcast feed, and we also recorded video of it. So you can check that out on our website, trickortreatradio.com. You can check it out on YouTube or wherever you get podcasts. We're pretty much on anywhere you can download or listen to a podcast. We're there. So go ahead and give it a look and check that out. And then we recorded a companion show for Patreon supporters only. So if you're not already a Patreon supporter, you can join for as little as $2 a month. That's it. $2. head on over to patreon.trickortreatradio.com. And the companion show featured sort of an expanded discussion about the year 2022 of film. And we also gave our Dear God No awards. And also, we did our personal top 5 lists. So that was a lot of fun. And it's a nice little companion piece to the year-end show, right, Raven Shadow?
Word.
So you guys can check those out. And as I mentioned, if you want to be a Patreon supporter, you can join for as little as $2 a month. And it goes all the way up from there. If you want to host your own Patreon takeover show or program it, and you could pick a guest co-host if you don't want to come on yourself, then you can also check that out. And we have a Patreon takeover coming at the end of this month. It's funny, like I allowed our Patreon supporter to choose which date he wanted, and he was thinking about you, Raven Shadow, and he said, you know what? I'll put some distance between December Double Feature Cram Jam and the Patreon takeover. Let's do it at the end of the month. So you can thank EF, Raven Shadow.
First of all, I thank EF for a lot of things, but he's a consummate gentleman. And I appreciate it.
So there you go. Cat's out of the bag, or Cat's in MZ's lap. We'll be joined by EF Contentment at the end of the month for his Patreon takeover. Can't wait. EF's takeovers are always a blast, and he always brings some interesting flicks. So can't wait for that. And yeah, so check it out. Patreon.trickortreatradio.com. And as I mentioned, you guys can join for as little as $2 a month. That's it. And you get full access to the Discord. And I actually really want to push the Discord a little bit more. If you guys are not on our Discord, you can go ahead and join. And I think I created a URL for this. Let me just check real quick. And yeah, if you go to discord.trickortreatradio.com, and that will bring you right to the invite to join our Discord channel. And it's we open up some of the rooms for anybody, but we do have some Patreon only chat rooms. And I'm actually going to reevaluate. I might open some more up on there, so it's not just Patreon folks, but for anyone, because I just want it to be inclusive, and then we'll have some that are just Patreon only. But give that a look, discord.trickortreatradio.com, and it'll link you right to Discord. If you don't have a Discord account, it literally takes minutes to set up. It's super easy, super fast, and Discord doesn't ask you for your firstborn or credit card or social security numbers. It's a really easy setup. So yeah, you guys should join if you're not already on there. We'd love to have you guys contributing to the conversation on Discord. I feel like this is a weird time for social media because Twitter is just sort of like fucking going down the tube since Elon Musk took over. And Facebook, I feel like just isn't. I feel like people are just getting sick of Facebook. It's funny. Yesterday I completely avoided Facebook all day because I was trying to avoid Wrestle Kingdom 17 spoilers. And it was actually kind of nice. I'm like, this is kind of nice. Maybe I should do this more often. But anyways, I feel like, Discord is a good place because you can have forums, you can have a lot of discussions, and there's also we have the video and the audio options, and I just think it's a really great place to hang out. It's not like you don't have to feel like you have to post what you're fucking eating every minute. It's just kind of a more laid back kind of deal. So yeah, if you guys aren't part of the Discord, join up, and if you want to support on Patreon, then you have access to the full Discord, and you can join for as little as $2 a month. So give that a look. That's all I'm going to say about it for now. Let me see. Oh, True Bacon Force commented again and said, this October I saw Smile, Terrifier 2, and Halloween Ends. I loved Smile and Terrifier 2, but I found Halloween Ends laughably bad. So I haven't seen the only one we saw. The only one we did on the show was Terrifier 2.
Yeah, I forgot about Terrifier 2.
Did you see that, MZ?
I did.
What did you think?
Practical effects were really fantastic.
Yeah.
Ugh, really fantastic.
It was just about 40 minutes too long, right?
Man, it is a long movie.
Yeah.
It's like unnecessarily, like, I spit on your grave, deja vu, unnecessarily long. But the difference between I spit on your grave, deja vu, and Terrifier 2, whoop-de-doo, is Terrifier 2 is a much better movie.
Yeah.
The practical effects are great. Art the Clown is creepy as fuck.
Sure.
And that little girl that's like with him.
Oh yeah, the creepy little clown girl. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a striking look. Wow.
Yeah, I thought. Yeah, I mean, we generally. I was surprised because I was dreading it because it's fucking 2 hours and 18 minutes. I'm like, are you serious? We're gonna watch a fucking slasher, like a killer clown slasher movie that's like almost as long as like, Casablanca or whatever. Like
The Shining.
it's longer than Empire Strikes Back. Like.
Is it really? Is it really?
Yeah.
It's funny. I was the least concerned about the length of that movie.
I know, that's amazing because you're always concerned about the length.
Usually I have anxiety.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No, I love TBF. He's killing it.
TBF?
Yeah, our friend. Who's a new friend in the chat room?
Oh.
Bacon Force.
Bacon Force, yeah. You can
True Bacon Force.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just call him fucking True Bacon Force. You don't have to call him TBF.
I'm just trying to help him out.
What, you want to come up with a nickname?
Yeah, I'm going to copyright it. I'm like Vince McMahon. I want to name everybody and own everyone's name.
That's good shit, pal.
Oh, pal. FTM. I own that.
FTM Mike. What was it? First time mic drop out.
First time mic drop. We own that too.
So yeah, it looks like Smile is a pretty divisive film. We actually almost did that. It's funny because Corny initially picked that for his Patreon takeover and then switched to Bullet Train when he found out that was coming out, I think, which I'm actually really glad because Bullet Train was fun. Yeah, Creepy Girl says, I hated Smile. It annoyed me. Angry Townsman says, yeah, I did not have fun with Smile either. Yeah, it seems like it's pretty divisive. And
Yeah,
Halloween Ends. MZ, I know how you feel about the Halloween sequel films. You still haven't seen any of them, right?
No, I haven't.
And you have no interest, right?
None. I told people it's gonna suck. I told people it's no good and it's gonna let you down. Nobody listened to me.
Nobody listened to Uncle Monster Zero.
That's right, goddamn you.
Are you a crazy cat person now? Is that like? Do you feel? Is it safe to say that you're a crazy cat person now?
I think it's a safe assumption to make at this point in my life.
Are you definitely cat person with 10 cats?
Oh, he's almost there.
No,
he's going to steal a few more and he'll have 10.
Yeah, I'm a crazy cat person with 7 cats.
Yeah.
Yeah, stop stealing cats, bro.
All right, so let's continue to wrap up here. TBF, True Bacon Force, also comment. This is, I know, right? I thought it was going to be 2.5 hours of straight murder, but then I was surprised they filled up the time with Art the Clown lore. Yeah, that was the coolest part about it. Was some of the lore stuff that they completely left out of the first one. Like, and I feel like the characters, like you really felt connected to some of the characters, especially the I guess the protagonist. I can't remember her name, but I thought that she was really well done. The girl with the angel wings and stuff.
Yeah.
So, all right. So Patreon, give it a look. Patreon.trickortreatradio.com. Discord.trickortreatradio.com. And other ways you can support the show, head on over to trickortreatradio.com and scroll down, look for the Amazon logo, click it. It's going to bring you to Amazon. It's going to input our affiliate link. Everything you purchase in that session gets attributed to us. It doesn't cost them any extra, Michael Raven Shadow.
Well, it's another way to help get more cat food.
There you go. Oh, I misspoke. Corny says he swapped Smile for something in the dirt, not Bullet Train. So I was wrong about that. And finally, if you guys want to, if this is the first time you're hearing Monster Zero, or I don't know, first time in a long time, you want to hear more of Monster Zero, there's plenty of him on the greatest hits of Trick or Treat Radio Volumes 1 through 3. So head on over to trickortreatradio.com and then scroll down and actually not scroll down, just look for where it says store. Click on that, and then you can see the greatest hits, Volumes 1 through 3. And lots of MZ on there. So if you guys want to hear some old MZ stuff, if you're new to the show or new to MZ, it's a great place to start. So give that a look, trickortreatradio.com, and then click on store, and then there's a digital store, and they're $3 a pop, and then we email them right to you, and you have access to them from there. So, all right, Raven Shadow, you sit down to watch Mad Heidi. It's MZ's fucking return. You're watching a Swissploitation. Did you have like what did you do to prepare? Did you have like a little bit of Swiss Miss and maybe like a grilled cheese sandwich or something along those lines?
That's very fair. I do enjoy chocolate pudding, and I like when the chocolate pudding has a little bit of that layer of vanilla in the middle, because that's fun. I also did have my annual physical, which oddly enough,
oh god,
yeah, it's weird. Liver and lungs, killing it. Just saying, not killing me yet.
They killing you?
Yeah.
No. I mean, I don't. It wasn't.
I don't believe your lungs are like perfect. I just don't. I apologize. I don't mean to doubt you, but I just can't see that. You've been smoking
let's put it,
since you were
Raven
a teenager.
Shadow, let's put it this way.
Maybe
your
maybe
your
your
room
doctor's
is-
lying to you.
Your room, Raven Shadow, let's put it this way. Your room is probably brighter than your lungs right now.
Even this podcast studio. That's fair. But that's fair. Like when I had the dude doctor, I feel my dude doctor was more hands-on, so to speak. It's weird. But no, they touch, they touch your abdomen. Does it hurt? Nope. You do the and like your lungs are good. I'm like, really? Okay. But yeah, so killing it. And I get excited because I found out that Monster Zero is coming back. I enjoyed that. And I'm going to watch some Swissploitation, which I feel was kind of a gimmick to watch the movie. But then I think about Nunsploitation, and I think about an old VHS tape I saw called The Sinful Nuns at St. Valentine. Thank you. See? Welcome back, Monster Zero. So I know that Nunsploitation is a thing. But I didn't know that the Swiss were.
Blaxploitation. Like, there's lots of sploitations out there. There's probably a Raven Shadow exploitation. Ravensploitation.
I'm aware. Yeah, I'm aware of other. I know that. I know that exploitation. Luke Cage. All right, so yeah, Losploitation. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. You take the good, you take the bad. Take them both, and then you have exploitation life, I guess. Welcome back, MZ.
Strapsploitation.
Strap-on exploitation.
You
That's
go
fun.
through your week with the same old routine.
What you really want is some blood and thunder in your life.
Well, friend, you found it.
The Cromcast is an adventurous journey through the history of two-fisted pulp stories.
With your hosts, John
Josh,
And Luke,
we have action.
horror.
an adventure, all through the lens of pulp luminary Robert E. Howard.
Don't just stay in your ordinary life.
Find your pulp life at thecromcast.blogspot.com.
The Cromcast,
The Cromcast.
The Cromcast.
a podcast for the barbarian at heart.
I'm Mike Allred. For the gidgiest listening experience, you got to check out Trick or Treat Radio.
The following message is a paid advertisement for the Cult of Muscle podcast. The Cult of Muscle. You're either in it or you're dead.
It's the dawning of a new age. The halls of Valhalla have been shuttered. The heroes of yore have either retreated to the shadows or taken to capering for the amusement of the small folk. Their past glories a distant memory. The barbells have been torn from their once puma-strong grips. The beards shorn from their square jaws, only to be transplanted onto flannel-clad, puny weaklings with fingers barely powerful enough to strum a ukulele. The time has come, my brothers, to restore order from the chaos. No longer will our heroes be forgotten. No longer will their great deeds be viewed through a foggy lens of irony. Hear now our rallying cry as we scream it from the mountaintops, as we bellow it from iTunes and Libsyn and Facebook. It's time to join the cult, my brothers. So don your cloaks and enter the Cult of Muscle.
I could be standing outside a woman's prison in a fistful of 50s and a bouquet of dildos, and no woman would come near me.
Did you say a bouquet of dildos?
All right, we're back on Trick or Treat Radio.
Ooh.
MZ True Bacon Force says, "I wish I listened to MZ talking about the Halloween thing."
Oh, about Halloween Ends? Oh,
yeah,
God.
but not to watch. All right, so we're gonna.
You all got took. You all got took. Anybody who went to go see that piece of shit got took. Okay.
All right, so it is time to talk about our first film of 2023, and that film is Mad Heidi. This is an action-adventure comedy from director Johannes Hartmann, and it looks like it's co-directed by Sandro Klopfstein, and the film is written by Sandro Klopfstein, Johannes Hartmann, Gregory Widmer, and Trent Haga, MZ. What do you think about that, Trent Haga?
Yes, Trum's own Trent Haga.
That's right. And the film stars Alice Lucy as Heidi, Max Rudlinger, Casper Van Dien as the president, David Schofield, Kel Matsina, Elmar Sato, Pascal Uli, Casper Weiss, Katja Korum, and Rebecca Dyson Smith. And the synopsis: Swiss mountain girl Heidi is abducted by brutal government troops and must defend herself and fight a war against a cheese-fueled machinery of hate. So if this is a film that interests you guys or girls or anyone out there, if this is something that interests you, it currently is only available on madheidi.com. So you should absolutely seek it out from there if you want to check it out. And they have a rental. I think it's $9.99, $10, something like that. So, yeah. So go ahead and give it a look if you're curious, and you can get it from Mad Heidi. I don't know if this is going to be streaming on any services anytime soon, but if you want to see it, that's the place to see it. All right. So I thought this might be a good film. I presented this to MZ, and I thought that this would be a good film to reintroduce MZ to the show. He is a fan of exploitation. He's a fan of gore, and he's a fan of the ridiculous, I think, when it's done right. So this seemed like it could check a lot of those boxes, and I thought that it would be a fun film to discuss on with MZ's return. So let's see. Creepy Girl says, Trent Haga, what did he have to do with this? He was one of the writers. There was 4 writers, but he was, I don't know if he did a version of the script or if he just kind of like, I don't know. I don't know exactly. There's 4 people listed for the screenplay, so I don't know how much he had to do with it, but he was credited as a writer. So yeah, I thought this might be fun to talk about. It seemed like it was just like, it could be Dear God No, or it could be Machete, on a smaller budget. Like, could be one of those two things. So, I figured that we can't really go wrong with this. And it had, we'll get more into it, but it had a lot of the tropes. It had a lot, like, there was some elements of, like, blaxploitation. There was nunsploitation. There was women in prison represented. So, MZ, would you say that this encompasses a lot of the different subgenres of exploitation?
Oh, sure. But I also noticed, it made some slight references to just regular horror films. I mean, I witnessed one of the films from the Nightmare on Elm Street series, The Shining, Suspiria, just all these references. And whether they're exact references or not, or it could just be happy little coincidences, who knows? But the horror fan in me sees these references, and I say, okay, all right, I got nothing wrong with that. I see nothing wrong with making a reference or 20 to horror films and exploitation films of the past. And absolutely exploitation films. I mean, this film really started to drive home a strong Nazi-sploitation vibe, very strong Nazi-sploitation vibe that I felt in this movie, that it basically overtook the entire film.
Yeah, definitely. Raven Shadow, I know you're not as well versed in exploitation, no offense, but did you feel this had a lot of the hallmarks of what you know as exploitation grindhouse?
Oh no, totally. And I definitely, in the VHS days, definitely cut my teeth on some, women in prison movies. The real Red Heat, not the one with Jim Belushi and Arnold Schwarzenegger, that kind of stuff. I felt this movie had some similarities to some Astron 6 stuff. I thought that it had a nod to referencing things. So like the same way like Quentin Tarantino would reference what he loved, from Grindhouse to Inglourious Bastards. And I feel this referenced things the way Tarantino would reference things, like a lot of the, title cards for certain characters. Now, I'm not saying it's a Quentin Tarantino movie, but I feel that those who made this movie love the same things that Tarantino did. And that's fair. Is that fair?
Sure. If you're saying it, it must be fair.
Well, I mean, it's not an apples to apples comparison, but like, I saw a couple of like title cards to like, say, Inglourious Bastards.
Well, I think that
grindhouse references.
Right. I think, I mean,
trying to say
it is possible that it was inspired by, the grindhouse revival, but like, it's difficult to know whether it was inspired by that or the actual grindhouse itself, right? Because, so it could just be that the writers / directors were, just trying to do something a little bit different. And I feel like the grindhouse revival sort of has like worn off a little bit. So now it I'm not going to say it feels fresh, but it's not released in a glut of other stuff like it. So it will stand out a little bit more. So, I don't know what their intent was or what their inspiration was, but I'm guessing it's probably maybe a little of both. Maybe they're inspired by the revival to do this, but maybe it's rooted in the original exploitation stuff,
It could be a slippery slope too, though. I mean, like when you're referencing something, it's like, oh, well, this is great because that's of its time. That's why, like, Slumber Party Massacre 2, because that was at the time. If you tried to make that again in 2023, are you just trying too hard? That kind of stuff. So I thought it could be a weird line between trying too hard and referencing something. I thought the Grindhouse pictures walk that line.
Yeah, and
but then again that also broke the mold of that opened up an influx of films just trying to be Grindhouse,
because
trying to be 42nd Street homemade. It's just they started it. Grindhouse started the whole thing. But everyone's been following suit.
I feel that the Tarantino Rodriguez, even though they're both great, I thought the Grindhouse double feature tried too hard. For my opinion, tried too hard.
Well, yeah, and I think that a lot of that stuff does, like they lean into it a little bit. Like I think it's almost like a wink, wink, nudge, nudge kind of deal where it's like, yeah, we're doing this, but we're going all the way. We know what we're doing. Whereas, those exploitation films back then were trying to be edgy. They weren't trying to be anything. It wasn't. Whereas now you can look back at it and say, oh, yeah, well, we're going to, make it kind of like this subgenre of film. But back then they were still finding what that subgenre was, so I feel like it's like, yeah, like we're doing this, but we're doing it with the knowledge that, that this is a subgenre of film that is now looked at almost in, I wouldn't say in an ironic way. I mean, I think you can absolutely appreciate a lot of that stuff, but I think that people are sort of doing it in like an ironic manner, like, oh, wouldn't it be funny if we did this in a Grindhouse style and we could really play that up and have some comedy and do, so I think it's it's hard to know unless we talk to the creators behind it themselves to find out. But I think it's a good sort of subgenre to play with when you're doing something really kind of silly. Which, I mean, this is silly, right? Like, all the cheese jokes and everything. It is trying to be campy and silly, so it's leaning into that, I feel.
It made me want to eat cheese and hate cheese at the same time.
Yeah, well, there you go. So, I mean, that's an interesting conversation, though, is like, if you say Grindhouse leaned a little bit too far into it, like I feel like that's something that if you know what you're doing, you're looking back and saying, yeah, let's spoof or pay homage. I mean, it could be a little A, little B, or whatever, and let's do it with a wink and a nod to the viewers, and do it and have some fun with it, because you can make a campy film on purpose like this and really lean into it and have some fun with it. But the thing is, back then they probably weren't trying to make silly films. They were just making what they wanted to make or what they had available with their budget, and then it just kind of came out that way,
Yeah, I mean, it's the old adage where you're not trying to make a cult film. You're not trying to make an exploitation film. You're not trying to make a grindhouse film. At least that was the perception back then. They didn't even know what a grindhouse film was back then. It just spawned itself because 42nd Street was filled with theaters that turned into quote unquote grindhouse theaters, showing exploitation, horror, just batshit crazy films, spaghetti westerns and shit like that. And it just kind of spawned itself from there. But nobody goes out to try and make an exploitation film or a cult film. It has to happen organically through its audience. And I think the last one to do that would be maybe I think the last one to do it successfully would be The Room by Tommy Wiseau.
Yeah.
Other than that, everything else has just been, they know in the back of their mind that they're trying to create something that is like Grindhouse, but you can never make another movie like. You can't make another Grindhouse movie.
But it's like Rocky Horror, and then they tried to do what is it, Shock Therapy or Shock Treatment was another Richard O'Brien movie.
Yeah.
Afterwards, like
great film too. Great film.
But didn't have the same level of cult following, right? Am I right in that it tried?
Well, at first, yeah, you're right. At first, it didn't. It tanked. It was just like Rocky Horror, really. It tanked miserably, and it never really did find its audience. And it's a shame too, because it's if you watch it, it's really good. The music is catchy. They say it's not a sequel or a prequel; it's an equal, which is very clever. Which is very Richard O'Brien-esque.
Funny.
But nobody goes out to try and make a film organically anymore. It's just like what I've been saying all along. People want instant results all the time, every time. They want it now. It just doesn't work that way, at least not organically. If you do it organically, you have to wait.
Now, one thing with this film, though, I feel it was saying something and using the guise of exploitation as the sugar, as the white cake with the sweet frost. A spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. I feel it was, in a weird way, it might have been. Well, I mean. All right, so it's fucking Swiss Nazis, right? Can we all just it's a lot of fucking Nazis, assholes. Nazis with cheese.
Is that like a Royale with cheese?
Easterstein Berliner, Nazi with cheese. Yeah. Gates in the Hademogen. Yeah, like, and goddamn, Casper Van Dien. Can we just fucking say that? God fucking damn. As the most perfect Swiss ruler. What was his name? What was his title?
I can't remember, like the perfect Swiss president or something along those lines. I can't remember exactly what they said now.
Dude.
We may as well say Casper Van Dien. No one else has said it for the past 25 years.
Listen, I am a huge Casper Van Dien mark. I love Rico from fucking Starship Troopers. I was never a big Tarzan fan, so I didn't really give a rat's when he played the Tarzan.
Sleepy Hollow. He was in Sleepy Hollow.
He was in Sleepy Hollow, but I just love. He was Gaston, right, in Sleepy Hollow. Oh, it was Gaston.
I believe so. Yeah, he was. Christina Ricci's.
He was the dick.
Yeah, he was the Dink.
But it's hard though. My favorite Sleepy Hollow is the fucking animated thing. That's a masterpiece.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah.
To be fair, Casper Dean, he got Starship Trooper money. He's got fucking Sleepy Hollow money. He's got his own Tarzan movie money. He's probably good. Right? What more do you got to do?
Well, maybe it's possible he could have gambled it all away or something.
Nah, I think Casper Van Dien.
I'm just kidding.
A straight up gentleman. Handsome.
I'm sure he's doing fine. I'm sure he's doing just fine.
Yeah. Looks good. He's got to be around our age, right? If not older.
Yeah, he's probably older. A little older, maybe.
Probably Wolfie and I's age, but.
Oh yeah, I forgot the collective age of the show just went up with MZ coming back.
Yes, the old man is back. We all know I'm old. Yes, I know. I'm a very old man.
Still handsome, bro.
But I don't act it. That's the important.
No, that's true. They definitely don't.
Oh, I don't.
So yeah, I think we could probably continue to have a long discussion about what the intent was, or what they were trying to do, but they definitely took the exploitation subgenre and leaned into it, and made a campy, at times silly film. We'll talk about whether or not we liked it, but I mean, I think there's no denying that it's a campy, cheesy film. Finger quotes, cheesy.
What do you folks think about the disclaimer?
Folks? You folks?
You people.
Yeah, I was surprised you didn't say you motherfuckers. What is this folks thing?
What y'all motherfuckers think about the disclaimer in the beginning of the picture? The fake logo, and then it was like, this is a crap thing.
Yeah,
but
I love
this
it.
is made by Patreons or by what is it?
Kickstarters,
yeah.
Kickstarter, yeah.
Yeah, no, I thought it was awesome.
Yeah.
It's difficult to make movies these days. There's so many out there that it's difficult to get through all the static, right? And I feel that if you can get your film crowdfunded, like, you already have a built-in audience, which is awesome. And yes, I mean, it's this kind of film, as evident by the lack of a distribution deal, from what it seems. And that's not to put down the film, but from what I can tell, I don't think it has digital distribution aside from being on the website. That's pretty rare these days. A lot of times we just do films that drop on VOD, and chances are those people are just happy to have their film shown, and they're probably not making a lot of money, But this way, I think the artists can probably reap a little bit more of the benefits this way, because the money's going directly to them, as opposed to, like, getting 70% of a rental fee, if that. I don't know how movies work, but I assume a distribution company or production company will purchase the film from you, and then they, since they've already given you money, they make the money off of the rentals and sales and all that. And so it behooves them to market it the proper way, right? So, and once again, I this is not my industry. I don't know if that's exactly right, but in this case, I imagine a movie like this is probably going to get a little bit more of the money back to the creators, because they're doing distribution from their website. And, who knows? Maybe that's something we'll see a little bit more of. And if they do get more money, great. And if they, have the disclaimer of, hey, like, don't steal this. Like, like, if you want more of this, give the money to the creators,
Yeah, I'm totally for it. I mean, usually, and also I mean, you could tell these guys are really serious about getting this project done, because in terms of the crowdfunding message that they put in the beginning of the film, you never see that. You always see it at the end. During the credits, you see everybody who monetarily pitched in to help fund this project, and that's great, and they do it here as well. But they also did it at the beginning of the film. And also what they did is that they kind of threw in that whole Swiss motif in thanking them. So it kind of gives them gives the people who donated the money to this project, like they're like in a small sense, a part of the film. Never mind just helping making it, but also being involved in a small part of it that you actually see on the screen, because they're thanking their crowdfunding pledges in that Swiss style that you see throughout the film. So I thought that was pretty neat.
Yeah, I think so too. Let's dive in now to a little bit more about the actual flick itself. So it's funny, like this and the storyline here is not that dissimilar from other films we've seen, right? Like revenge story. We have let me get the character's name correct. Goat Peter. We start off
with shit
with Heidi.
I love how they always referenced him as Goat Peter, not Peter, but just Goat Peter.
Yeah. So actually, we start off. Was it 20 years prior? I think, where this new regime is taking over, and they're basically like outlawing like other cheese. It has to be like, basically government cheese. From President Mealy. It has to be like his brand cheese, and anyone who is lactose intolerant is like killed, basically, or put away. So.
And it's done with a great musical piece. Everything's done in slow motion. It looks really, really good. One of the soldiers gets a wedge of Swiss cheese shoved right into his face.
Yeah,
he gets a piece of just thrown, and he gets hit dead in the face with it.
So and then we get that, and then we kind of cut time jump 20 years later, and we see Heidi and Goat Peter, after they've knocked Das Boots. Although that would be German, so I don't know what the but we'll go with it.
Yeah.
And he's basically saying, I gotta go milk the goats, and she's like, let's do it again. He's like, girl, you're gonna wear me out.
Like 15-mile limits on Schnitzengruben.
Yeah. It's actually like it's funny because they almost kind of invert that. Like normally it's the guy, right? That like, I'm tired, I gotta go do this, and the guy's like, come on, baby, let's do it. Like I thought it was kind of funny that they kind of inverted that. But yeah, Goat Peter is making his own goat cheese, and it's illegal. So we get this kind of like little side story. I loved when Goat Peter was walking down the town street.
Yeah,
looking like a pimp.
He's all pimped out in his fur coat and everything.
Over his lederhosen, right? Like.
Oh yeah, like he was dressed like that guy. Who's the quarterback after Brady? Cam Newton. He was just kind of like Cam Newton a little bit.
Cam Newton with lederhosen.
Yeah, Cam Newton with lederhosen, which I'm like, I could wear that anywhere.
So that was funny. They had what's up?
Or actually more like Andre 3000 if he was like a goat herder.
Right. Yeah. Ravejaw, are you gonna wear lederhosen?
Thinking about it.
Now, I'm actually not sure. Is lederhosen, is that is it just the shorts, or is it also the suspender type things that hold up your shorts?
I don't know. Or it could be garter belts. What's the difference?
There's a big difference.
Shit.
Lederhosen are short or knee-length leather breeches that are worn as traditional garments in some regions of German-speaking countries. Let's see. I mean, I think that's all part of it. I think the like, you know,
brown
suspender-y type things, I think, are part of it. So.
And you wear those hats.
But yeah, I think that there was right off the bat. I mean, you could tell that they're having some fun with this, and you know, I did like that. You know, like Goat Peter walking down the fucking town street and like kind of waving at everyone, and, like finger guns, and you know, doing his whole like shtick. Yeah, I think that was pretty fun, and you know, so then from there, it's kind of a traditional revenge story where they find out that Goat Peter is selling cheese, and they basically go kill him. They like basically blow his fucking head off, like in a very like over the top, silly looking manner, but that was done on purpose. It's supposed to look silly, you know. MZ being the Gorehound, what did you think of the way that looked?
Well, it's because of the budget of this film. You could easily distinguish the CGI gore from the practical gore because you see them both at the same time. They blend them together, but it's really obvious which is the real stuff and which is the fake stuff.
Yeah. And I did like the pouring of the practical, like spouts of like blood shooting out. Yeah.
Yeah. But that was easily detectable.
Yeah. It was fun though. I think that you know, like that's kind of the part of leaning into it. When you make that choice to lean into a little bit of the grindhouse stuff, you can do silly things like that, and it's completely understandable. You know, like if we saw that in, I don't know, like a serious action movie, it would take you out of it, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
But in this, it's like, yeah, like you expect it.
Once again, when you're dealing with, let's take the Swiss army and make them Nazis, and make the big thing that everyone's dealing with is fucking cheese. Okay, fine. So you can have some fun with some things.
Yeah, absolutely.
The master race involves cheese.
Right.
And if you're not the master race, lactose intolerant. I mean, it doesn't take. I mean, Matt Murdock can kind of see what you're doing there, right? Like you can kind of. I'm saying.
Yeah, and you know there was some subtle. I mean, once again, I'm not as well versed in exploitation and grindhouse as MZ might be, so I don't know if this is an element of it. But I feel like there's kind of always a bit of an element of like having a reflection of like socio-political issues in that stuff, whether it's like inadvertent or blatant, you know. And I feel that there's a lot here that could, you know, you could you know, take for his things that have happened in history or recent history. Like I feel like the leader of Switzerland in this case was in some ways similar to a leader that we had in this country, you know, like, so I feel like it's like a kind of like a meta commentary on a lot of different things about like governments that are in control or attempting to be in control, you know. Corny says the picture of Go Peter that they used to identify him. Yeah.
Oh Jesus. Yeah.
Evil Corny also says Black Dynamite is a spoof of blaxploitation films, and I think it could be a nice pairing with Mad Heidi. Yeah, Black Dynamite's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
But Black Dynamite, I sell drugs to the community. That's a fucking classic. And Evil Corny also says Casper Van Dien was born in 1968. So
he's older than me.
He's older than you. You got some years on you. Let's see. Let me check some other chats here. Make sure I'm keeping up with everything. True Bacon Forest says, I got a potentially dumb question. What is an exploitation film exactly? Does that just mean extremely gory and obscene? It's a good question, True Bacon Forest. I'm going to, MZ, you can chime in. I'll try to give my quick definition instead of just looking it up on Wikipedia. But typically an exploitation film is a film that highlights the exploitation of something. Like it exploits, like blaxploitation typically shows the exploitation of black people, or like it sort of takes it's not always like a minority kind of situation, but in a lot of times it can be, and it plays up on like the stereotypes of that and really kind of highlights it in a way. But it do you have a better definition, MZ? I feel like
I mean, you got it pretty good. It's also, a gratuitous nature of what that film is. Like he mentioned, blaxploitation. It is or sexploitation. It takes that one common thread that's throughout the film, and they just turn it up to like the 15th degree. So like when like a sexploitation film isn't just going to be your regular TNA comedy or
right.
softcore porn. It's going to be lots of vagrant nudity, both of the female and male persuasion, and the camera also lingers on for quite a bit longer than a normal film would. Like a blaxploitation film, it would enhance on the traits of black people, like and they would exaggerate them is what they would do. So you would get like really fucked up hair, afros and pimp suits and purple stretch Cadillacs, and not even to that, not talking like Willie Dynamite or anything like that, but it can also go into other areas, like in terms of slavery or something really demeaning shit like that.
Yeah.
Or carsploitation with films like Dirty Mary, Crazy Larry, or Vanishing Point, where they enhance on cars, much like Quentin Tarantino's Death Proof. That's a carsploitation film. So it's really just an enhancement of what their core, subject matter is.
Yeah, and just to get the official definition, I did look it up just to make sure it's super clear. An exploitation film is a film that tries to succeed financially by exploiting current trends, niche genres, or lurid content. Exploitation films are generally low-quality B-movies, though some set trends, attract critical attention, become historically important, and even gain a cult following. So, and if I'm not mistaken, the term grindhouse came from the theaters that played these style of movies. So those terms are somewhat interchangeable, I think, unless grindhouse became, I think it's more of a general, term, as opposed to, exploitation is typically more specific. Like it's a blaxploitation or nunsploitation or sexploitation or carsploitation, like MZ was saying, whereas grindhouse, I feel, is a more of a generic term for this style of film.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Okay. So there you go, True Bacon Force. And True Bacon Force says, I got to see this movie. Casual Noob Sabat says, maybe I'm spoiled by streaming services, but it seems most horror movies don't get physical releases anymore. Or am I wrong? I feel Mad Heidi will get one, though. Yeah, I mean, it depends. It depends on if it's a Netflix, if Netflix picks it up, or Amazon Prime or something like that, some of the bigger streaming services. it most likely won't get. If it's exclusive, it most likely won't get a physical release. But a lot of the companies now, what they'll do is they'll put out a physical release first, and then it'll end up streaming. Like a lot of the films that we talk about on the show do get physical releases. Like, for instance, IFC Midnight, I think, is a company that typically will put out films, physical media for like at the same time it comes out on VOD for like a few months, and then it might show up on like Shudder or something, 3 to 6 months after the physical release. So, and I think that's a part of kind of trying to make the money back. The money they've spent on making the film, the marketing, and all that. They're trying to get a little bit of that back before it starts streaming, and they probably won't see much more money from it after that. Courtney says Russ Meyer films are a good example of sexploitation.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Any Chesty Morgan films? Sure. Chesty Morgan or
Bat Pussy.
Yeah. Emmanuel.
What kind of a exploitation film is that, MZ?
What, Bat Pussy?
Yeah.
Bat Pussy is just flat out bad porn. Tempest Storm or Betty Page. But this is just vile.
So there's a little bit more info there for folks who may not be aware. But let's dive a little bit more. I want to talk about the actual movie. We've talked a lot about the other stuff surrounding it, but so I want to start with Alice Lucy, who plays Heidi. I'm not familiar. This is the first time I've seen her in a film, but apparently she did have a chance to have some training, because she does end up being sort of like I would call her more of like an action star. She's in a way like, I guess it's kind of a revenge film, but there's part of it that's like women in prison, and you could technically, I don't know if I call her a final girl necessarily, because this doesn't have a lot of the attributes of that kind of film, but kind of a revenge film where she's almost like an action star, right?
I don't know. I wouldn't call her a final girl. I think it was more of the hero's journey. I think she went from being the compatriot to Goat Peter, and then having to avenge him, avenge her grandfather, and save her country. So I thought she was more Luke Skywalker, or
yeah.
Something like that, like the Swiss Luke Skywalker. Now, some of her action scenes, I don't know. I didn't quite believe it, and I think they sped up the montage as it progressed. I don't know. I didn't love some of the I think the montage went on a little bit long. Even though she's fantastic. She was fantastic. I like her. She's a great actress and great in the role. But I kind of struggled during some of the early montage scenes of her learning her fighting powers.
Oh, okay. I understand what he's talking about.
And that's fair. I mean, this is I think it's her first major role, and we don't know if she's had any sort of combat training or fighting or anything like that. But I think regardless of that, like, I think we can just assume that she learned a lot of it for this. So I think that and she did have to, I mean, there's some range in this where she had to kind of play I guess a bit of a damsel in distress to women in prison, with those bullies. I don't know what those two
Oh,
women.
two muscle bound.
Yeah,
the Barbarian Sisters.
the Barbarian
Yeah.
Sisters. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, no, and then she and I wrote this down in my
On a post-it note.
movie journal rating.
Oh,
That-
look at you.
Yep.
MZ. Marion got him a movie journal so he can write down his ratings and what he thought about the film. How long into the year do you think this will last?
This will be it.
Such faith.
Yeah, right.
Raven Shaw, I'm giving you 5 weeks. I think you'll go a couple weeks, but I think within 5 weeks you might fall off.
Thank you, Wolfie, because you care about me. I appreciate the support. No, but Alice Lucy was Heidi, and I thought she was great.
Yes, she was. Oh my God, this is ridiculous.
What, director Johannes Hartman?
Johannes Hartman. God damn.
Look how close his face is to the
I know,
book.
that's what's making me laugh. Like, come on.
Yeah, real medical problems are really funny.
They're not funny, but get a magnifying glass maybe or something.
It's dark and I'm wearing sunglasses.
Why are you wearing sunglasses? People can't
Stop
even see
wearing
your
sunglasses.
eyes.
A lot cooler with them on.
That's
All
who
right.
you think.
That's what Ollie thinks. No, that's. I wrote down my notes. I wrote.
Talking to the mic when you're reading your notes. MZ is like, what am I doing? Why did I come back?
I'm
like
glad
Go.
to see nothing's changed.
I like
So
Alama
lucky.
Soto, who played Clara. She was a bad girl.
Are we discussing the movie, or are you just like running down like bullet points?
I'm just trying to put over my new book.
Okay, we believe you.
Sure.
We're
We
not.
don't
We're
think
not
it's
your.
working.
Yeah, we're not your doctor. I know you're not lying to us.
Say, using the journal.
All right, so Ravenshaw's using the journal. It's good. Good for you. I think that a lot of the sort of like government in this they really hammed it up. I thought it was really funny with like the different doctors and they were trying to come up with the super Swiss like super soldiers.
Oh my lord! I mean, to be fair, that we eventually got like fucking Nazi cheese zombies.
Yeah, then there was
Pretty
like Madame Rottweiler and
Yeah.
all these just like really kooky, crazy names like
Well, there was
very
a
generic Swiss names that you would just give anybody, you know.
Who was it? Commandant Knorr.
Cador, yeah.
And Tron, I may know, and yeah, Knorr. Like, oh. Uh-huh.
Wasn't this the Knorr?
Oh, the Knorr was the beast in the floor at the Wheelock Ave. He would.
Oh, that's right. That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
He's calling back for more. Knock, knock. It's Knorr.
What?
But those two bullies.
The Barbarian Sisters.
The Barbarian Sisters. Yeah. Jesus Christ. I mean, when I saw them, all I thought about was what was it? The West German Olympic team that was shown in the movie Top Secret.
Oh yeah.
That's all I thought of. But yeah, Alice Lucy. Is that her name? Alice Lucy?
Yeah.
Alice Lucy, the
Yeah.
great Alice.
I thought she was fine when she finally got herself, done up in her battle fatigues to fight as Heidi, as the Heidi we all know, with the leading hose and the braids in the hair and all the whole other thing. I thought she really fit the part.
Yeah.
She really looked good, and yeah, a formidable fighter too. I mean, editing plays a big part in this, and I can almost see where Raven Shadow is going with the montage part, but I thought she was okay. Nothing spectacular. She played it fairly straight. she played it fairly straight, not too over the top, to kind of balance everything out with all the craziness that's going on with the cheese and the generals and the barbarian sisters and just weird, bizarre stuff going on, you know. But I think she was a nice catalyst to all that. Not a catalyst, but I think she kind of leveled out the playing field on that and kind of made it a little bit not too over the top is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
It's
I agree.
It's so wild. I mean, there's so much going on. You have the Swiss Nazis, you know, and their quest for cheese domination, you know, and you have Commandant Knorr and who's the chick, Miss Rottweiler, and there's some weird butt stuff between them, which is odd.
That's butt stuff. You mean with like what was it like shit, what do they call those? It's
Dilsky?
Not a sausage, but bratwurst, was it? Or something?
Oh, yeah, it was like a bratwurst
with the cheese on it.
Yeah.
A bratwurst dipped in cheese on like a weird like strap on.
Yes, yeah. Shoved up his rear.
Is woohoo. Yeah. Mrs. Rottweiler. Or yeah. A lot going on. Nazis suck.
Yeah, but we got to remember that. I mean, we keep referring to these guys as Nazis.
Yeah,
they're not.
They weren't Nazis.
Swiss, huh?
Yeah, they weren't Nazis. They were the Swiss.
Yeah. Okay, that's what. Okay, so you're agreeing with me. Good.
Yeah.
But if the fucking jackboots fit, I mean, they're fucking wearing all black, and instead of a swastika, they had the Swiss Army knife symbol.
Yeah, the guy with the Swiss Army knife too. Yeah.
That was a funny scene too. Yeah, that was a funny scene.
But I mean, it's funny when you think about it that you got a Swiss Army that's acting like a bunch of Nazis. I mean, the more I think about it, the more I'm not too. I really don't know how I feel about this movie yet. I had a pretty good idea of how I felt, but now I'm starting to second guess myself the more I think about it. Not only because the Nazi aspect of it is, of course, to tune into the Nazi exploitation film, but I think it's pretty smart to use that as well as other exploitation films and horror film references to make that work. I think that's pretty smart, but I'm still up in the air on this film.
I think that's some of the magic trick for it, right? Like where obviously it wears exploitation on its sleeve. Women in prison, you know, fucking Nazi bastards, Ilsa SS type shit. You know what I mean? Check. Whatever the fuck. You got your fucking, you know, eye patch grandpa. You got your fucking montage. You got, you know, goat cheese smugglers. It does its thing, but like I think it subverts just paying homage. If that makes sense. You're not just doing a cover album.
Yeah, you mean like they're kind of like they're playing within that sort of subgenre, but also using it as a way to sort of like say like not necessarily like poke fun at, but they're using it to sort of like help tell the story that they're trying to tell.
I would, yes, that's what I'm trying to say. I think they're still telling the story under the guise of nonsense and exploitation and shit that, you know, we all love. But I think there's still an important story there. Oh, there's still a story there. I'm not sure. But there's still.
Wait. Is this your definition of an important film?
Yeah. You know what?
I mean, there's times where it tries to play itself seriously, but there are also times where it just it gets itself to be so goofy that you don't know where it's going to go. Like there's this really attractive prison guard, the really young attractive prison guard.
Yo,
she's got the boom box and everything,
right?
Which is another thing. Which is another thing I'm trying to figure out is when is this movie set in what time? But I guess that's irrelevant.
I thought something else.
But there's times where she's like falling in and out of her Swiss accent, which I've noticed.
Well, actually, I noticed that too, and I feel like they did that on purpose. Like Casper Van Dien almost goes between like what sounds like a Boston accent and like you know, like I feel like it was like on purpose because that's what they do a lot in you know, a lot of exploitation is kind of, you know, grade B, you know, B films. So I feel like that is kind of like a part of it, and I feel like they leaned into it a little bit.
Didn't they make that comment about accent? Or they like? I think she even said like, yeah. I thought they even like mentioned that they were faking it.
Yeah, and it was funny that Heidi didn't have an accent at all, you know, like, but I guess it's kind of explained, but still kind of, you know, like kind of funny. So
but neither did Goat Peter.
Right. Goat Peter.
To go figure that one out.
I could hear that name like 100 times and I will laugh 100 times. But you know, I feel like with the pacing of this film, I think it did a good job of establishing the story, probably better than a lot of exploitation films, and it used a lot of like, you know, like well-tread tropes, which is fine. Like that's nothing wrong with that, and I feel like a lot of this really worked pretty well. Like I like when she escaped from the prison and her leap of faith, I guess we'd say.
That was a fucking great scene.
Yeah, I really dug that scene. And even the training. You were talking about the training montage. Like, you know, I thought some of that stuff was actually like pretty fun. You know, like of seeing her learn to fight with the nuns and you know and all that. You know, I thought that stuff was cool, and it had some good gore gags, and especially when she got her what was it, like a staff axe or something? I don't know exactly what it was, but
her weapon. I mean, there was some great stuff when she got her uniform. She became kind of like a Wonder Woman. You know what I mean? She got her armor and gear. A little bit of Godabelle thrown in, just saying.
And so that character, I think this is the character that is sort of like the goddess like character Helvetia. I'm not very familiar with the character, so I just looked something up here. Helvetia is the female national personification of Switzerland. The allegory is typically pictured in a flowing gown with a spear and a shield emblazoned with the Swiss flag, and commonly with braided hair, commonly with a wreath as a symbol of confederation. And the name is a derivation of the ethnonym Helvetii, the name of the Gaulish tribe inhabiting the Swiss plateau before the Roman conquest. So, like, the Gauls were like before. Well, if my history is right, that's like even before the Celts were in like the what is now known as the UK, and that's before like the Anglo-Saxons and the Vikings and stuff like that. So, yeah, that's kind of interesting. I didn't really know much about that, but Helvetia was that character, and in a way, she trained Heidi to sort of take on that role, you know, and
right.
And the thing I liked was down with the fatherland, and like, you know, you know, up with the motherland. Like, I thought that was kind of a nice. You know, a neat little thing. Basically, like down with the you know, like, because we live in a very patriarchal society, it's kind of like down with the patriarch, you know, kind of deal. And, you know, when you hear people refer to their homeland, it's typically the motherland, right? Like, they don't ever say fatherland. So it's kind of funny. I thought that was kind of clever that they utilized that.
Well, there are certain words that get fatherland scary, brotherhood can be scary. Like, oh shit, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Now and I'm a dumb American.
Yes, you are.
Thank you. Is Heidi a character in?
Yes.
Like, she's like The Rock, right? Like, she has like mythology in America.
Like The Rock?
Yeah, The Rock has mythology.
There's no mythology. She's just a character from a story.
Yeah, from children's stories.
They just.
But she has adventures, right? She's like.
I guess I've never read Heidi or even watched Heidi. I don't.
Like Tintin.
So it says it was a classic children's novel by Swiss writer Johanna Spiri, published in 2 volumes in 1880 and 1881. The titular character is a young orphan who is sent to the Swiss mountains to live with her grandfather. So same situation here.
Okay.
But yeah, she doesn't end up getting revenge and killing motherfuckers and split them in half. This is sort of like a fictionalized continuation of that story, I guess.
Sure, that'd be like making like Hansel and Gretel Monster Hunters.
We should do that. No, I'm just kidding.
Never been done.
I know.
Yeah, well, soon Jeremy Renner has fucked up. Sorry to have it to you, brother. But yeah, so like that's a fucking thing. Like, I mean, I don't know. I know Swiss.
You know Swiss Miss.
I know Swiss Miss. I know there's no problems over there for the most part. They don't get involved in things. That's fun.
What are you doing?
No, but like that's fun. They don't get to get involved in all the skirmishes. Like, who fucks?
So I think. Sorry, I'm just going to talk about the movie again. I feel like the hero's journey that we see here for Heidi, I thought made sense. Like what she went through in the prison and what she went through, you know, the catalyst for her wanting revenge. You know, because she thought her grandfather was dead too. You know, and also her, you know, lover, partner, whatever Goat Peter was. You know, he was definitely dead. So all this stuff, like, it made sense. Like, it was a natural progression. Sure. Like, all of a sudden she's getting training from, like, a goddess. You know, but I thought all that was fun. And I just feel like the arc that the character went on made sense within this world. You know, because they established a very silly, outlandish, fictional world, fictional Switzerland, but within that, this all made sense, and it was like, yeah, okay, of course, like, I get it, you know. And I thought that that was, I mean, really, like, Mad Heidi had to kind of sell that revenge story and that story of her growth, or else this doesn't work. Silly, campy, cheesy, or exploitation or not, if you don't have that, this doesn't work, you know. So
Agreed.
yeah, so I feel like they were able to nail a lot of that stuff. I mean, there's some really good gore gags when she finally goes to, like, she's all trained up, she's in her gear, has her weapons and all that, and she sees those soldiers, and like she hits that one dude in the fucking balls, and he just squirts blood out of his fucking crotch.
There is so much ball gore.
Yeah.
In this movie.
I thought that was pretty outstanding. And then there's what happens after, like, she cuts a fucking dude in half, which is always fun. And I forget what was the guy in the armor.
The Inquisitor.
Not the Inquisitor. It was like
the
Insinuator.
The Insinuator. What the fuck?
But the guy but the guy looked like a bookkeeper or something. He was just like geekiest guy. He puts on this armor.
Can I say his armor? So I'm sorry. I mean to cut everybody off. I know where our mics are cutting out. But he reminded me of I told this to Marion, the dwarf movie.
The dwarf movie.
Time
Bandits.
Time Bandits. When they fought.
I knew what you meant, but the dwarf movie.
Dwarf movie.
Even dwarf started. Even what was the name of that movie? MZ, the Werner Herzog.
Even dwarves started small.
That's it. Yeah.
But I said the right words, right?
Well, I knew what you meant because I can translate Raven Shadow-E sometimes.
But you know what I mean when he wore the fucking head.
Yes.
Yeah. I just think nothing's changed in my absence.
No, not much. Yeah, but I think that the pre-neutralizer, that was his name.
That's it.
The only thing is I felt like Heidi gets trained up, she's like killing fools, and then all of a sudden she's captured again. I'm like, oh man, I mean, it made sense based on the story, but it just seemed like after all that, now she's captured again real quick, But I did like that whole thing where, with one of the barbarian sisters, where she kind of worked out that deal, right?
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of a cool little thing. I liked how the other one died. The fucking bash in the head.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think there's a lot of really fun stuff in this, and even the way I'm not going to say, I guess potentially spoiler, but where one of the main characters dies towards the end, I thought that was the cheese and the hose and all that. I thought that was a pretty good end to that character. But yeah, I mean, this is just it's a coherent, cheesy movie that's fun. That that's kind of what it sets out to be, and for me, that's kind of what it achieved. It's not it's not Casablanca, Raven Shadow, but it's it does what it sets out to do, and I feel like it does it fairly well.
Yep.
Is there anything else you guys want to talk about? Anything specific? Any gags? Characters? Anything like that?
It was a fun team. I liked a lot of the characters. I love Goat Peter. I love Heidi. I love the villains. I love Mrs. Rupp. I love
memorable characters for sure. I think that's the strength of this film. Honestly, is the characters are memorable. We get those scenes with like we talked about with Goat Peter. He's not in the film very much, but when he is, they're memorable, and I feel like that's important.
And I would give, I don't know if I want 6-inch action figures of this movie, but
okay, I thought you were going somewhere else with Goat Peter.
But a PVC set of some of the main characters. They look great. They're awesome. And Goat Peter is the shit. I've had goat cheese. That's fun. That was a surprise. I had that one there.
That's fun. That's got to be fun.
I would. Yeah, I think you're right. I think like a little vinyl set of action figures. You could get the president. You get Mad Heidi. You get Goat Peter. You get the pre-neutralizer.
Yeah.
And what was
the preacher one we have?
Yeah, exactly. And what was Heidi's partner, Clara? Was that Clara?
Oh, Clara. Yeah.
Clara.
Yeah.
So that I thought that was also cool. So I could see that, a little action figure set or something.
Yeah. PVC, little this pose, shit.
What we haven't really talked about a lot about Casper Van Dien, but what do you guys think of him in this film?
just like everybody else, over the top.
Yeah.
Which is perfectly fine because that's exactly what everyone was going for in this film. I thought he was fine. He played it up to a point that I don't think you could wring another drop out of the out of what he did for that character. I don't know if Casper Van Dien is Swiss himself. I mean, I'm just going by his last name, wondering if he is Swiss or not. I don't know, but I think he did fine with this role. There's really not much else that can be said about it. It's just over the top, and just like everybody else. That's really it, as far as I can tell you. Really.
I thought Casper Van Dien put on a fucking masterclass performance in this. And just saying he's completely European monster, I'm pretty sure. But like, even like when he's walking into the prison, he would do these small things, the way he would look around, in the way he would look to various, his mid-carters in his army, or his love for the girl from the Alps. Like I thought he totally chewed scenery in a great way. Like, I would love this dude. Coney said he was born in 68, 69. So he's definitely on the other side of 50, I would think. I'm bad at math, but like,
he is.
I just love this dude, and put him in some fucking shit. Casper Van Dien is the shit.
I just looked up his IMDb because I just wanted to see what he's been in recently, and he's actually been in a lot of stuff. Nothing like, big budget necessarily, but he's actually in like a big budget fan film, which I know that there's some of these on YouTube. It's a Batman fan film called Dying is Easy. Have you heard about this, Raven Channel?
No, I haven't.
So it's interesting because the cast is like all like well-known actors, so I don't really know how they pulled this off, like for like a fan film. But it stars Michael Madsen as Bullock. Doug Jones as the Riddler.
Stop it.
Chris Daughtry, who I think he's the singer for Daughtry, right? He plays Hugo Strange. Let's see, Amy Johnston as Harley Quinn.
Wait, is she Amy Jo Johnson? Is she the Pink Ranger?
Let's see. Sorry, I'm
the original Pink Ranger.
I'm going pretty far back here. She's been in a lot of stuff. No, I don't think so.
Sounds like the went to a con and just asked various celebs if they want to be in this fan film.
But I saw a Gambit fan film that had Roberts, Eric Roberts in it as the Heavy, and it was fucking killer, and it was better than anything I've seen in the X world in a long time. They had Magic, they had Rogue. It was really cool. So like, I'm a huge Casper Van Dien mark.
Well, so let me just finish. Casper Van Dien. The reason I found this is Casper Van Dien plays Commissioner James Gordon in that short.
Stop it.
It's I think it's, you can look it up. Dying is Easy. It's a 26-minute film. I think it's on YouTube.
Marion.
Yeah, you can watch it. It's in 4K, ultra 4K. It actually looks pretty cool.
What's the best K?
However many Ks you can get your hands on.
Oh, you gotta slow it down. You gotta turn one over.
And Kevin Porter plays Batman. That name sounds familiar. Yeah, he's been in a lot of stuff. I'm just trying to see if there's anything specific that we might have seen It looks like he plays Batman in a few of these films. He was in Dodgeball, a true underdog story. A character named Laser. I don't know how.
Who's Laser?
Seems
And
like
then
he's a bit of a like a character actor, but he
Big Beefcake Boy, right? Big Beefcake Brother.
yeah. So there you go. Dying is Easy. Check it out, Raven Child on YouTube.
I'm fucking trying, man. Oh, I mean the movie. Yeah, I'll watch that too.
So yeah, but Caspy Van Dien's he plays Jim Gordon.
Caspy VD, baby. Come on now.
CVD.
CVD, baby. Come on. Chat room, CVD.
We need a movie with CVD and RVD.
That'd be the shit.
And JCVD.
In that script. Give me a pen, Ollie.
All right, let's do the verdict on this one because I feel like it's funny, like my program fucking froze up again and Skype had to restart, and MZ and Raven Shadow somehow switched places in your little windows that you're in. I don't know how that happened, but all right, well, let's do the verdict on this flick and find out what we thought.
Trick or treat, baby.
I wonder if people would say you're a trick or a treat.
Trick or treat, motherfucker.
All right, it is verdict time, and now you guys switched again. What the fuck? All right. It's verdict time. We're going to let you know whether Mad Heidi was a trick or a treat, and any final thoughts we may have. MZ has returned. Let's kick it off with MZ's verdict.
When I saw this movie, the first thing that came to my mind is that it has the very same exact type of tone, even though it's a different type of film. It's got the same kind of tone in it as Hobo with a Shotgun.
Yeah.
And when I saw that, I'm like, boy, because I didn't care for Hobo with a Shotgun.
Oh man, come on! You didn't?
I didn't care for Hobo with a Shotgun.
I love that movie.
You should know this. I've
remember.
said it many times.
It's been so long.
Yeah, I didn't care for that, and I was really fearing the worst for this. And the story here is good. The idea is good. The performances are decent. They're over the top. They fit in the world that's been created for this film. The gore, unfortunately, I felt when you mix the real stuff with CGI, I just, it's like mixing oil and water. They don't mix. And it's easily distinguishable which is which. I thought the set pieces were good. I thought the acting was fine, over the top, funny. I did chuckle a few times. And the gore, and going back to the gore, actually, I wish there was more of it. There wasn't that much as far as I was concerned. I thought that there would be a whole lot more than this. And the gore pieces were few and far between. You had to wait a while there was one big one at the beginning, or near the beginning, and then you had to wait a while for the next big gore piece. I hated that. But the actress who played Heidi, I thought was good. Not great, but good. And Casper Van Dien was over the top, and he was funny. Everybody was funny. And using the whole various exploitations to put their story across and get a chuckle or two. And I got a chuckle or two out of this movie. But the one thing that hurt me was the fact that this felt like a hobo with a shotgun. And that's what I kept on reverting back to in my mind. And I'm like, oh man, I mean, it just doesn't, it looks good, but it feels cheap. This film delivers on what it says it is, but not to the expectations that I was hoping for. Nevertheless, I still say that this is a treat. This is a tepid treat, though. I went in with high expectations, and I was let down. I was let down a bit, but not to the point where I'm going to say pass on this. Give it a chance. There might be something in it that you like. There's stuff in it that I like, but like I said, I just feel like that this film kind of let me down because it does follow in that hobo with a shotgun mentality. So to me, this is a tepid treat.
All right, tepid treat for MZ. How about Michael Ravenshadow?
I mean, that's fair. I mean, I think the movie did kind of give its gimmick out from the jump, right? With the fake, logo, and it gave it's this disclaimer. I don't think it needed that because I really enjoyed this movie. I enjoyed the cast. It's not Avatar 8 or whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? It's not.
Thank God.
You know what I mean? It's not. Yeah, it's not that, but I don't think it needs to apologize for itself. I think it's in our wheelhouse, and I think this would be a super killer. Get up with your girl or your boy and get some comfies. Maybe get a grilled cheese with some ham, maybe a soup. You know what I mean?
Like French onion?
Yeah, whatever you're into. You know what I mean? French onion, chicken noodle. That's fun. Or a vegan noodle. I'm not sure what they have for soup. But some broth. Get a broth. Can you have broth, Johnny?
Veggie broth, sure.
Yeah, get some veggie broth. That's fun. And just kind of maybe hot veggie chocolate. And check it out, man. I think it's a lot of fun. It's insane. It's crazy. I think after Double Feature Cram Jam and all the nonsense that we did this last month that Aries was able to skip out on, this was a nice entry level for 2023. And welcome back, MZ. And I would say this is a super fun, gnarly treat, and I want to see a continued adventures of Heidi and her partner. That would be killer. And more Casper Van Dien in 2023.
All right. For me, yeah, I'm gonna go with a treat on this. I feel like it's funny. I mean, it's his first show back. I don't want to pick on him, but I feel like MZ saying that this felt too much like Hobo with a Shotgun seems like something that somebody would say that isn't familiar with exploitation, but you are. I think it's a modern digital homage to exploitation, which with that, I mean, you can expect that kind of thing where it's they're gonna mix the practical with the CGI, and I feel like that's done almost on purpose for to make it seem kind of cheesy, but regardless, I feel like this for me reminded me a little bit more of, like, let's say Kung Fury, like that revival of what was it, Kung Fury, and there was one other Turbo Kid.
Turbo.
But this is just more of that because one of you guys, I think it was Raven Shadow, mentioned or maybe it was MZ, I can't recall, mentioned Astron 6. And, like a film like Manborg or whatever, and they use a lot of green screen and digital backgrounds and stuff like that. While I feel like this is, they had way more budget for this than Manborg had. I feel like it's this amalgamation of a lot of like techniques that have been learned over the last few years to try to do that. And Turbo Kid did that to a degree, and Kung Fury was like almost all digital backgrounds, if I'm not mistaken. So I feel like it's a little bit kind of an amalgamation, between the modern and the old. But I mean, I feel like this, while I like those movies, I'm not comparing it to either of those. It just felt similar in the technique of the way it was made. I feel like this tells a cohesive story. It gives you like reason as to why, you know, Heidi is getting revenge, and it makes sense. They have some sort of almost like mystical elements as to why she was able to gain her powers, and yeah, like it's essentially, as Raven Shadow said, the hero's journey, and everything makes sense in the world they created. You know, it's not an outstanding you know, Swiss exploitation film. Maybe it's the best Swiss exploitation film ever, because I think it's the only one. But, you know, like I feel like they do enough really good stuff to make this fun, and they know what they're making. Like, they're leaning into it and they're having fun with it. And I feel that, all that said, they also made like a really just kind of like cohesive, fun story that made sense. You know, it was over the top. This is not like, probably not going to end up on the top 13 of the year, depending on how like the year goes. But I do feel that this was you know, a great palate cleanser, as kind of you alluded to, Raven Shadow. You know, after doing some pretty heavy films, especially Nanny, like that fucking gut punch with Nanny, it is fun to do something lighthearted and different, and something that just was fun, you know. So yeah, I'm gonna say this is a treat. I did have fun with this, and it has a lot of the hallmarks of exploitation. It's got nudity, it's got gore, you know, like all those sorts of things. If you're looking for that, like, this film's got it. So, and if you do watch it, go to madheidi.com and check it out from their website. It's the only place to get it, and the only place you should be getting it. So, go ahead and check out Mad Heidi. All right, that's it. We're done with the first film of the year. We made it. We made it through one film. Now, I have to refresh my page here. What are we gonna? Let's see what we're gonna do for next week. So there's a few films that I have on our radar. I actually wanted to ask you guys prior to doing the show, but I forgot to. Let's see. You know what? Let's go with this. So, this might be another sort of good entry point for MZ, something that might be in his wheelhouse a little bit, but from what I understand, maybe this kind of steps outside and does something a little bit different with that. So the movie we'll do next week, and let me just make sure it's available, actually, because I think it comes out tomorrow. Okay, so let me just double check and see if this is actually getting a release, because, you know, sometimes those things kind of change at the last minute or whatever. So because it's getting a theatrical and VOD release, I think, on the same day. Okay, yeah. I found an article from like a few weeks ago. So, shit, something. I think we froze.
Yeah, we're frozen.
Keep running into fucking issues.
MZ's Picarding.
Yeah, he's frozen. He's Picarding. I just have to see if we are still on or not. Man, this sucks. I have to figure out what's going on. This has happened a couple times now.
Bingo jet had a light on.
Okay. Double D says we're still on. Okay. Thanks, D.
Thanks, D.
I just got to refresh something over here, I guess. Yeah, I think I know what happened. Maybe.
Would that be the sequel to the Bucky horror movie Refresh?
Fresh Refresh. Was that like the new Subway marketing campaign or something?
Well, they kind of stopped marketing after that other motherfucker didn't really work out so
No,
well.
they didn't. They still market.
Really? No shit. Good for them.
Yeah, it was called the Fresh Refresh.
Was it really called the Refresh?
Something like that, yeah.
Hmm.
All right, I'm gonna restart Skype. Maybe that's what'll do it.
Subway tastes like soap.
It tastes like soap.
A little bit, but every once in a while, I kind of want it. Like, I really want like a meatball fucking Subway.
You want soap in your mouth?
Yeah.
Like
I'd
if
say
you swear a lot, you're like, oh, I need some soap in my mouth.
Only one time did I have that.
One time, huh?
Yeah, Subway's not good, but yeah, I wish them ill, but you know,
Fuck Subway.
fuck them.
All right, I'm restarting Skype. Join this motherfucking call. All right, I'm sorry, guys, everyone out there.
Welcome back, MZ. Yeah, good.
Right.
Yeah, right. Nothing's changed.
All right, you guys are back, and I'm back. Okay, good.
Yeah, good. Look at that.
Yay.
Look at that. The Chiron.
The Chiron stopped moving though. That's weird.
It's the contrast.
Yeah, that's gonna turn it off then, I guess. Yeah, it's that fucking error, the same error that happened last time.
Zero flexing right now. Look at him with his guns out. Look at him relaxing.
Sun's out, guns out.
Yeah, just chilling.
All right, so next week, yeah, I think this movie's getting a release tomorrow. So next week, we're going to be doing a film called Candyland.
Candyland.
It's
Candyland.
93 minutes, written and directed by John Schwab. And here is the synopsis. A seemingly naive and devout young woman finds her way in the underground world of truck stop sex workers.
Treat.
All right.
Treat. Supposedly, it does feature the talents of one William Baldwin.
Really?
Yep.
He's my third favorite Baldwin.
I recognize someone else. Owen Campbell is also in it. He was in X, and he also was in Super Dark Times, which I don't know if you guys remember. We did that a few years ago.
Yeah, I remember that. Good movie.
I recognize a couple other people in this. Let's see. Billy Blair. Why does that name sound familiar? He looks familiar
Fuck
too.
the beat, Billy Blair.
Yeah, maybe that's what I'm thinking.
Hey, fuck you, Brian Blair.
Oh, he's been in a bunch of stuff. Okay, yeah, that's why he was in.
You humble.
He was a character in 3 from Hell. He was in Sin City, A Dame to Kill For. He's one of those like kind of character actors that you'll probably recognize, but can't like pinpoint where you've seen him.
Yeah.
Do a movie for Shiki. Show Shiki.
All right, so we'll be doing Candyland.
All right.
Candyland.
It looks like it could be interesting. I know that the synopsis is like, okay, like, but apparently there's a little something more to this movie. So we'll do that. Candyland, we'll talk about that next week. So if you guys want to play along at home, it should be available on VOD starting tomorrow on January 6th. So you can check that out. Casual Noob Saibot was asking, so there you go. I think it's on VOD. I don't think it'll be streaming on any services, so got to do a VOD release on that. All right, so we do have one voice message. Let's see. We actually there's some other pretty good flicks coming up. I'm looking forward to doing some of these other films this month, so it should be a fun month. We do have one voice message, and that is from Evil Corny. Why don't we check in with the man and see what he has to say?
Hey guys, I'm gonna give Mad Heidi a treat. Really enjoyed the film. I hope to see more Twist for Taste in films in the future. I hope to have a physical copy of this at some point. Like I said, I had a lot of fun with this film. One of the lines out of this film that stuck with me all day and I laughed my ass off when I heard it was when that one guard says something was yodeling in his pants. That might be the funniest thing I've heard all week. And that, it just had me tickled as hell. You all have a good one. Nice to see you back, MZ. Hopefully we'll have Aries at some point. But you all have a good one. Evil Corny out.
All right, Evil Corny. Good to hear from you, buddy. Glad you dug the flick. And yeah, I thought that there was some decent one-liners. I mean, it definitely was intentionally cheesy, right? Like they tried to go a little over the top with some of the, especially the cheese puns, but I thought that some of them worked and were pretty funny.
Yeah. I mean, I chuckled a couple of times with this film.
Yeah. All right, Corny. Good to hear from you, buddy. And let me just double check the email. I think that's it though. Just the one today. Oh, weird. Okay. Since that fucking thing happened to my computer, now my browser is like not working correctly. This is browser. Just fucking cursed. Yeah.
And I would agree. Yes, it's good to hear the dulcet tones of Evil Corny once again. Thanks, buddy.
All right. So, yeah, that's it. That's it for voice messages. MZ, you made it through your first show.
Yep.
Was it brutal?
Yes, it was. There's a bunch of pills that I took.
Oh, shit. You can't take it anymore.
Can I buy some off you?
You don't even know what they are.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter, huh?
They're pills, man. I'll take them, man.
Yeah,
what if it's Viagra?
No, well, give it a shot.
What if it's I don't know,
horse tranquilizers?
Horse tranquilizers, yeah. What if it's what's that stuff called that makes you poop? Laxative. What if it's a laxative?
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna. Well, why would he be taking the?
I don't know. You were so eager to take whatever he had.
Yeah, but no one's be like, yo, I got that laxative, y'all. No one's like, hey.
He didn't say that though. He wasn't touting it as like some fucking crazy drug. That's your interpretation of it.
Wolfie, you are so sweet. The fact that you don't know drug seeking behavior is awesome. But like, Linus, yo. And the phone,
you would just lie to your doctor anyway, so what does it matter?
Yeah, but those, I'm not going to call anybody out, but anyone that seeks narcotics, you know what I'm talking about.
Wait, so you said you went to your doctor for your physical, right?
Yeah, no, aces, bro. Lungs.
What did you, yeah, because you fucking lied.
No, they have the stethoscope.
The stethoscope. Did they look into your lungs?
I don't know. I breathe, and they did.
They would find coal that they could turn into diamonds if they could look in your lungs.
They're not, man. They're not from Krypton.
Maybe you need a fucking CAT scan.
I've had that. No. They had said my lungs were killing it. My liver was.
Your lungs are The doctor said your lungs are killing it.
I'm paraphrasing.
That's a quote, right?
But she's like, "Yo, it's fucking
yo." Your doctor did not. Yo, your lungs are killing it, Raven Shadow.
But I did say, really? And she didn't laugh. And she said, yeah, you're fine.
Yeah, she probably was trying to get you to stop lying, so your shock would give away how much you smoke. Maybe that's what happened and you don't realize.
I got some killer lab work. Yeah. I'm waiting to hear back. They told me to sign. I did the whole bit from Stripes where I'm like, get well soon. He said, sign your name. I'm okay, sure. Yeah. It was fun. No, I like going to the doctors. They like me there. I make bad jokes and no, but my lungs, liver are killing it, bro.
I don't believe this. I think your doctor's lying to you. Your doctor probably listened to the show and found out that you lie, so they're probably lying back to you. So
Yeah,
see, here's the thing. So when something happens to you, you're gonna be like, "But I was so healthy," and the doctor will be like, "That's why you don't lie to a doctor."
Like shit. Like I'll be dying like Paul
Yep.
Rubens.
But by the way, since MZ didn't
never-
since MZ didn't listen to a single episode while he was gone, MZ he lies to his doctor when he goes in for his physical about how much he smokes,
Raven
drinks,
Shadow.
whatever.
Raven Shadow, you never lie to your doctor.
See, thank you,
What's
thank you,
wrong with
MZ.
you? You lie to your priest. You lie to the cops. You lie to your wife. You don't lie to the goddamn doctor. Okay.
You were right about everything except for the doctor part.
Lie to your girlfriend.
Oh,
Okay. lie to the cops. But don't lie to your doctor.
No, but you got to fracture the occasional truth a little bit. Don't lie.
We covered this last week. All right, I just wanted him to know what the context.
Yes, no. There's no doctors in Maine.
Yeah, actually, you know what? That's actually quite true. I still don't have a doctor yet.
That's worse than lying to your doctor. Not having
Fucking
one.
out of network like a motherfucker out
Why
there.
don't you just do that, Raven Chow? If you don't have a doctor, you can't lie.
Or you could do all the lying you want. Just nobody will listen to it.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, well, that's fair. But no, you just gotta negotiate. But yeah, it's exciting.
Negotiate.
It's exciting.
Goes back. There's no doctors in Maine. No one's gonna tell him when to go to bed. I'm sure you're lifting boxes. And you're tired. That's fun.
Oh my god.
Oh god damn it.
All right, well let's let's put a fucking let's put a cork in this episode. All right, so MZ is back. MZ, you're gonna come back. You're gonna come back next week.
I'm debating it now.
Look what you did, Shadow. You lied. You lied to your doctor. And now you've pissed off MZ.
Well, it's so early into the year. But no, MZ, I love you, boo boo. I'm glad you're back.
Thank you, man. Right back at you. At least until that stupid fucking story with your doctor. All right.
All right. So let's say our goodbyes then, starting with MZ.
Let's see if I can do this. I'm a little out of practice.
Actually, I'm sorry, MZ. I don't mean to cut you off there, but maybe we'll talk more about it next week. But when you getting ready to say Arrivederci reminded me of Ruggiero Diodato, and I know you were a big fan. Do you want to wait till next week, or is there anything you want to say?
Let's wait till next week.
Okay. So I just wanted to bring that up because I actually had meant to ask you about it. So all right, we'll
Give
talk.
the man
We'll talk to Ruggiero Diodato. We'll talk about him, passing next week and how he impacted the film world. So we'll bring it up next week.
All right. And until then, arrivederci, douchebags.
Yes, there it is. All right, Raven Shadow.
Oh man, it's been so long since I heard that fucking little bit of catchphrase. So for this time and for next time, live fast, love hard, survive with your mask on.
All right, and we just got a couple messages real quick in the chat. Casual Noob Sabat says Raven Shadow can lie and tell MZ he is a doctor. Problem solved. It's true. I mean, hey, that works.
Oh, Dr. Raven Shadow, I got this problem.
Let me bend over and show you. I got whenever I sit down on the toilet, it looks like I'm giving a hammerhead a fucking pile driver.
Oh my lord!
Sorry, that was a force insensitive thing last night. We named the episode an Athorian pile driver. And MZ definitely would look like sitting down. He's giving the Thorian a fucking pile driver. Those fucking balls. Oh, we forgot to say hi to Rufus and Ronaldo. Welcome back.
Oh.
Hey.
Ronaldo.
Ronaldo.
All right. Well, that's gonna do it. So we appreciate you guys tuning in. It is 2023. Hope everyone's new year is going well so far. MZ is back. All is right in the world. And next week, as mentioned, we're going to be talking about the film Candyland. It'll be hitting VOD starting on January 6th. So check it out. And let us know what you think. Send in your voice messages, podcast@trickortreatradio.com. And we should have Aries back next week. So I think it'll be the four of us. The four, I don't know, like fucksketeers. What's sucksketeers? But it'll hopefully be the four of us, and we'll be talking about Candyland. So come back, hang out with us next week. Check out the live show, join the Discord, and also support us on Patreon. All right, see you guys next week.